What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Adrian here from Adrian Mateo Drones. How's everybody doing this evening? I am doing great. Good to be back. Good to be here with you guys. Let's go ahead and have a great show alongside my co-host Draymond Crawford this evening. Good to be back. I'm playing my own show in the background. Sorry about that. As you guys can actually see the curtain behind me, I'm actually at my girlfriend's house. We actually have better internet, so not cutting out that much. Hopefully, it's gonna be a great show. I see that we have quite a few crowd here in the chat already. I'm gonna get right back to you guys in a minute. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and bring in my co-host Draymond Crawford, who actually was texting me early and saying, "Adrian, still no email. Where's the link?" I've been busy with the little kiddo, putting her to sleep, giving her a bath, all that good stuff, doing father duty. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring in Mr. Draymond Crawford. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Adrian. How are you, partner?
I'm doing pretty good, just hanging in there, just doing the whole father thing. As you know what time it is. You've been there before, you're still there actually. So
yeah,
we all understand, how that works.
well,
But
mine
besides
are
that, how's your
grandkids,
day
not
going, man?
kids. Not bad, not bad. Just got some things done early in the weekend because was my Friday off. So I went ahead and did one of my jobs out in Fontana, California, out there, which was nice. Got that done early. Overcast day, which is actually good for photogrammetry collection work. You don't have any shadows to worry about. It's just straight shots down. And you capture everything. But just a little tidbit that the company I'm doing this for through another job my way, just on the other side of the freeway where I'm at,
Okay.
another housing project. So that's why I tell folks, you know, put forth a good effort, and things will continue to come your way.
That sounds good, man. Amen to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
How's the family doing?
Oh, the family's great, man. Like I say, my kids are grown. I said, I don't have no babies like you. I said, now the grandkids got dropped off here while my wife and I were out visiting some of
Okay.
our family members earlier today. My wife's aunt, and
Th-
I went by and saw my parents.
So that's what I saw last week because I seen a little kid right behind you that she was
Yeah,
about to grab you, and then
hmm
you were still talking, and she turned around and went the other way.
yeah. That might have been last weekend. I had two of my grandsons were here, and then the other two of my I have a total of five grandkids, three girls and two boys. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any little ones, man. You see little ones around my house, they're the grandkids.
I hear you. I hear you. Hey, Tim Jackson, I did want to hit and send you a link to the Facebook Messenger if you want to join. Hey,
Yeah,
Michael, Flies on Join. If you want to join the panel, let me know and I'll send you a link, buddy. Same
yeah,
to you, Jack Rabbit, Scott. Let me know, buddy. But we do have quite a few people on the crowd. Let me just go ahead. I'm in the chat. Let me say hi to Tim Jackson, of course. Max from Max A420, Full State Aerial Photography. Thank you for being here. We got Scott from Jack Rabbit FPV, Mike from Fly Zone Drone. I think I seen Jody, yeah, from Jones Shots. Thank you for being here. We got David, Arizona Drone Dude. We also got Mr. Gary from Brown Aerials, JDS Flying Canic, Johnny Drone Flyer. Hey, John, I did want to hit and send you a link if you want to join, buddy. I don't think you've been on my show yet. We also got Eric from eDrone. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it, buddy. We got Mike Reynolds from Michael Drones and RC. Thank you for being here. We got One Vision Aerial. Thank you for the love and support. We got 15 folks in the chat already. It's lighting up. So, Dre, this is our show. We can actually talk about whatever we want to talk about. I know that we usually keep it professional. We keep it, drone
yeah.
related, all that good stuff. But whatever you want to talk
Well,
about, just go ahead and talk about it.
let's go ahead and keep some personal things taken care of. I know there's been some things that have happened to some people in our drone community. First, we want to give out a heartfelt hug to Mark Fisher out there in Rhode Island Drone Group. Uh,
Oh, what
his,
happened?
his mother had some kind of medical situation. I don't know the exact diagnosis, but she's been hospitalized. So Mark and his family could use our prayers and just reach out to him whenever possible. I'm sure he will appreciate any text messages or Facebook messages that you send him. Another person we just want to give a quick shout out to is Johnny Drone Flyer. There was an incident that took place at his granddaughter's graduation this week, and we're just glad that no one was injured, hurt, or anything like that. And just let you know, uh, anything can happen anytime. I got a call today from all the way from Florida from Captain Ray Kelly asking me if I was okay, and I'm like, okay, what happened? And he had got a news broadcast that there was a shooting in my city, uh,
Okay.
on the border of my city and the city of Highland, California. Uh, Teenage party at a, I guess, a some kind of rec. They have these little meetup places that you
Yeah.
can rent. You can rent these little rental halls, and I guess somebody drove up to the party and shot. One was hit or killed. I'm not sure the exact numbers and so forth. But I appreciate those who are reaching out. We got folks who have been up in Michigan. I guess they had a tornado up there, which is highly irregular for that area, and those other places that have gone through some storms and so forth. But it just goes to show the amount of reach and the amount of care that we have for one another, and and we need to continue that. Like flying these drones are nice. I say getaway or escapes for a lot of us. Then there's people like myself who do it as a business, but it's nice to know that our extended family of drone flyers are out there, and we're able to reach out to one another. And I appreciate the call from Ray Kelly. Though nothing affected my family, just know that somebody's out there, and if I needed to, I could call him, I could call you, I could call a number of people, even in this chat, that I can reach out to if I need to, and that's highly appreciative. I'm sure Johnny appreciates all the words of encouragement and concerns for his family. I'm sure Mark Fisher will appreciate it, and anybody else that has had some incidents over time. Just like when we all reached out to, my mind just went blank. The gentleman who passed away about a year ago.
You're talking about Rick Halber?
Yeah, Rick Harbor. I mean, that goes a long way to not just those individuals, but even their family. That there is a community out there that appreciates individuals who've been part of our community. So, like I tell folks, look out for one another, and and don't be afraid to reach out. So that's
Yeah,
my little personal touch for the night.
that is correct. I do appreciate that. Actually, I guess I've been so busy at work and I haven't really been active on YouTube as much. Like this morning, Rodney Bell went ahead and sent me a link to come on his um, coffee with Rodney, but
Hmm.
I literally went ahead and I fell asleep. And I was actually dog tired because again I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning
Yeah.
to get to work, and then I'm not home. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's 7:30. Sometimes it's 8. Sometimes it's 6:30 p.m. All I want to do is literally just do
Hmm.
my little bit of stretching exercise that I have to do, to get better. Give me a shower, give me something to eat. And next thing you know, I'm actually in my recliner with a heating pad on my back, trying to relax.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, I fall asleep, TV on, lights on, everything. Then I wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, turn them off, try to catch another snooze, and hear the alarm going off. After
Right.
that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So.
I mean, again, like I said earlier, we were actually talking, behind the scenes. I'm
Hmm.
glad to be back at work. I'm feeling a lot better. I am back to work when it comes to restrictions, but again, is compared to before, I am doing so much better, so much better.
Yeah.
Hey, hang up, JD, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
JD.
I really appreciate that.
I think I saw Gary pop in, Gary Foster, Brett Ariels pop in, Jack Rabbit, Four States Air Photography. I think you hit the rest of the folks already. Susan Lee
Yeah.
just popped in.
Uh, Also,
Just,
David from Arizona,
Justin
young
just
dude.
popped in. Yeah,
Hey,
Justin.
Justin, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Justin. Hey, Susan Lee, how you doing, ma'am? Thank you for being here, dude. I love Susan Lee. She's so supportive, man. She's on everybody's, giving them love and support. I really appreciate you popping by. Thank you. We got Tom from Lens Capture online. How you doing, buddy?
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for being
Tom.
here. Tom, if you would like to join in for a little bit, let me know and I'll send you a link. Um, yeah, man. Other than that, it's been great. How's uh your Amazon contract going? I see you have one of your video in the background playing on that TV. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's my playlist. Just something a little extra to throw in the background.
Okay. Guys, do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tom, Lens Capture Online, for reminding me also. Adrian, Eric, thank you for letting me know, let everybody know. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Susan Lee. Thank you so much. But yeah, Adrian, how is the little your contract doing when it comes to your Amazon thing? How is that
Uh,
coming along?
most, like I said, all of them are going fairly well. And I think I was it last week when we talked about it. I think it was that it was a self-inflicted thing. I was doing the orbit at the facility, and I used Litchi to do the orbit, and I climbed up on this slope to get a little higher up so I would keep a solid connection. Because like I said, it's a very large area that I'm orbiting around, and now that the walls are up and everything else, which reduces your signal, I didn't want to lose connection. So what I inadvertently did as I was climbing up the slope, I hit the screen, threw the camera out of focus. So I get back, I'm looking at it. I'm like, is it just my eyes, or you question yourself, is my eyes a little off, or is the sun glaring? So I get home and I noticed that half of the orbit is out of focus, and then I must have hit the screen again, brought
Yeah.
it back into focus, and everything's razor sharp. So I had to go back out the next day and reshoot it. So
So
that's part
when
two.
it comes to that reshoot, how did that go?
Oh, the reshoot was fine. It was excellent, dude. Like I said, my biggest thing that and most guys who do commercial work could tell you, the weather conditions are the only thing that really you have to be concerned with when you do mostly commercial work and so on. It's just weather. And when we fly, for hobbyists, you worry about the heat, you worry about the wind, rain. Just like I went out Friday, we had like a overcast mist. So when I went to the gym that morning at 4 a.m., I came home. And I was like, okay, what's going on? It's misty. So the misty part kind of went away around, I think it was around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So then I went over and flew that. So I was able to knock that out because they were talking about this overcast, misty weather, possibly lingering all weekend. But there was nothing today. But got it done yesterday. And when you have, I know, overcast weather, a lot of times the winds are calm. So there's kind of like a blessing in disguise that
Yeah.
you have calm winds, which makes it easier. And plus the weather was a lot cooler compared to what it was last weekend when I was shooting. The day ended up getting up around 98 degrees. Yesterday when I flew, I think I flew the temperature only got up around 65. So like I say, the batteries were good. They would heat up like they normally would. Take them out, throw them in the back of the vehicle, and, out of the way. And about the time I fly the next battery, that one I had in there was completely cooled off and everything else. Put it back in the bag. So like I
Yeah.
said, weather either be hot, cold, rainy, windy, whatever. Has the effects it does on your equipment, on your flight characteristics and everything else. So that's always a big thing about doing work that you, like I said, you got to watch the news, the weather reports, and everything almost on a daily basis to see what's going on. So,
Yeah. Now what a the coincidence that have that happened to you before? This was the first time.
first time, because like I say, I didn't have smart controllers before, so now I'm using the smart controllers I picked up in the last 6 7 months. So I'm not used to having touch screens.
Yeah.
Okay, so my bigger tablets I use, I mean the big tablets I use when I fly the Phantoms, the Phantom controller is big enough that you only got to handle that part. You ain't got to
Correct.
touch the screen. But the smart controller, because it's smaller size, the way the ergonomics of it, how it fits. If you're walking or doing something else, your thumbs can inadvertently. I mean, your thumbs are not on the sticks, so your thumbs can inadvertently touch the screen and cause something else to happen. And the same thing when you fly with a phone on your controller. If your a finger, a thumb, or whatever can hit the screen and change everything. And what threw me off one time, I think it was one of the first times I went flying with the smart controller. To this day, I don't know how I did it, Adrian, whatever,
Yeah.
but all the telemetry went off the screen. It was just a picture of the drone and what the drone was seeing. Everything was fine, but I couldn't see no telemetry, and I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do? Because
Yeah.
I didn't want to stop the flight, you know. So I just kind of just okay, just relax. The drone is still flying, still doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I just sat there and just watched and let it come back, let it come back.
Yeah.
And once it came back, shut everything off, turn it back on. Everything came back on the screen, everything else, but it kind of threw me off a little bit, and I'm like, where did all my telemetry go? Everything. It was just one big picture screen. That was it. So yeah,
Now, again, you said that has never happened to you before.
well, like I said, I've only had these smart controllers for about 6, 7 months, and like I said, most of the times I fly with the Phantoms, which I don't use a smart controller, but I'm using more of the Mavic 2 Pros, especially when I'm doing orbits. It just
Yeah.
I like the way the Mavic 2 Pro does the orbits. You know, it's just a different type of drone compared to the Phantom, and so I'm trying to use more of my equipment, so I don't overuse the Phantoms. So, like I said, I really when I do an orbit, I usually throw up the Mavic 2 Pros to get the orbit work done. For the photogrammetry work, I use the Phantoms 4 Pros to do that. So, like I said, once again, it's just one difference of not overstressing my equipment. Hopefully, keep it lasting longer till I'm able to buy some other things to replace the Phantom. So that's my goal by the end of this year is find something to replace the Phantom, because it's just like I said, it's getting such a hassle trying to find original equipment for the Phantom. Like I said, I don't really care for using third party batteries and other things for those drones.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you, like you staying pretty busy with with those things now. A lot of the time when you do your flights, you normally use the Mavic 2 Pro, right?
Well, it depends on what it is. If I'm doing photogrammetry work, which is based on the mapping stuff, I prefer to use the Phantom 4 Pros. I think they're more accurate without having a RTK. They give a nicer picture, and they for that type of work, I think you can't beat it. I've used the Mavic 2 Pro before, and I think the Phantoms are just a little more reliable on the quality aspect of it.
Now
Uh,
the one you have, that funnel you have, also has the mechanical aperture.
there's a mechanical shutter on it, and which is, I mean, I'm sure it gives us a little bit different. But I have noticed a difference in I guess, the picture size on the Phantom 4 Pro and the picture size in the Mavic 2 Pro. Both are 20 megapixel lenses on the pixels on each camera, but I noticed that the size of the picture overall on the Phantom 4 Pro is little larger than the one on the Maverick 2 Pro. So, not sure if that makes a great difference, but I know overall those individual shots are a little larger.
Okay.
Okay, somebody sent you a link to something.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
Gary.
Gary Ranero. Hey
Okay,
Gary, I'm about to play that video in a little bit, buddy. Just give me a few sir in few.
yeah. Is Tom going to jump in? 'Cause I wanted to ask him about the recent story he
Eh,
posted about the
he
firefighters.
actually did went ahead and send me a message. I was kind of replying back to him as well. He sent me a
Okay,
message that he actually is having dinner with the wife, but he will try to jump in a little
okay,
bit. So hopefully he would.
okay. I know he posted a story about the firefighters in New York doing a rescue of some guys, scaffolding guys on the side of a building, and they were using the drones to assist in that rescue effort. So I want to
Yeah.
kind of
Eh,
pick his brain.
Let me do welcome Joe Fotoleo. We also got Justin from Drones 863. I sent you one already, Justin. Hold on, give me a minute. Let me send it again. I
Okay.
do want to say hi to TDR, Drones, eBacks, and Scooters. Brian, thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that. Did I miss anybody else? Oh, we got Leonard from JSK Enterprise. We got Amy U Drone 4K from Brazil, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. We got UAVP. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I'm just going to answer Mr. JRC's question about the minis. No, I have never had an interest in any of the minis, and frankly, put it out there, the minis are nice beginner drones. Some of them are very capable of doing probably some commercial work, but they are just not in the industry standard. And when I say that, it's not that there are certain parameters that are in the industry, but just like people say, when the Mavic line first showed up, it's going to take a while for people to accept a drone that fits in the palm of your hand, and they're paying you a couple $100 to go out there and take pictures of multi-million-dollar facilities, and that's what you're showing up at the job with. So, like I say, part of your work is your presentation. So
yeah,
when I walk up there and I pull out a Phantom, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And even before I even show it, I tell people, well, I have a Phantom 4 Pro Plus, and I get responses and emails that says, "Oh, that's awesome," because the Phantom 4 Pro line is the standard in the construction industry still today. It is a drone that's this is 2022, so we're talking about a drone that's somewhere in the area almost 6 years old, but it is the industry standard for the most part, and especially with all the variations from everything. You can get a Phantom 4 Pro RTK setup.
Yeah.
That works with the lasers and everything else, that gives you the most accurate readings you're going to get using drone technology today, and so forth. So, part of your presentation is what you show up on the job with, or what you tell people you have. Just like people get all excited about when you say, "I have an Inspire," and most people have not seen an Inspire. But when you show up one, they see this big old case you're wheeling out and this big old rig that you pull out. Well, the one thing, like anything else, when we buy stuff, we feel like we're getting our money's worth, And as far as they know, you can put that Inspire back in his box, pack it up, and break out a Mavic 2 Pro and get the job done, and no big deal. Nobody's to the wiser.
Yeah.
But you need to have something to show people sometimes, to say, okay, if I'm gonna pay you $200, $300, $400 on this work, what am I paying for?
Correct. Let me welcome Gene Factory Mountain Droning, and also let me welcome James Droning. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey, Gary, I have not forgotten about you yet, but I'm going to play your video in a minute. And I think you say, Gary Brown Ariel, that the music is YouTube library music, correct? I think that's what he said. So let me go ahead and look for that link, because I actually went to another screen. Hold on 1 second, Justin. I do see you in the green room. Give me 1 minute, buddy. Let me go ahead and give UAV a wrench, because he's all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I just subbed him about an hour ago.
I see here. Where's that link that Gary sent? Here it is right here. Boom. So let me just bring that up.
How you doing, Third Eye View?
Hey, Third Eye View. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for being here, sir. Boom. Let me stop it and let me go into the stream. How you doing, Justin?
What's up?
Nothing much, man. I thought it was Danny, the view chaser, that actually went ahead and asked me the question about if it was raining over here, but it was you. Yeah, man. Earlier it was storming and it was a whole bunch of lightning. It was going crazy, man. But it kind of stopped a little bit now. Here. Is it raining over there too?
Oh, it's crazy over here. It sounded like a damn tornado was going over my house.
Yeah,
earlier.
Exactly. It
like
kind
a
of
neighbor's fence was doing this.
Crazy earlier.
So it's a nice little setup you got there, Justin.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been working on it.
I gotta ask you now, what's with all the sound treatment? You gonna do some rapping for us?
No.
Wait a minute. Is that Oh, you got soundproofing equipment back there, that foam looking
Well,
thing?
it's just kind of to damper the noise in here a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing, Hugo Vista area? Thank you for being here. And also Stephen Drones, thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. So Gary, let me get to the video. Give me 1 minute. Let me go
Yeah,
down and share
you
screen.
can get there and lay down the baseline track and get Sarah in the background thing. Whoop whoop.
Hey, Matt Conde, how you doing, Matty Drone World? Thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that, man. If you want a link, Matty, let me know, and I'll send you one, buddy.
Well, we have this like giant walk-in closet in the middle of our house, so I figured why not use that as a little, studio, because we don't need it for anything. So it's like a small bedroom.
So here's the video that Gary was talking about. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Once you start it, go ahead and make it large. There you go.
That's a police boat.
Gary, was that with the Air 2S that you were following that boat? It looks like they have a twin engine, isn't it, Dre?
Oh yeah.
So the chase is on.
Yeah.
That's a fast little boat, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that thing is hauling ass. Oh, the Air 2S. Okay, that's what I thought.
Now my question is: now is Gary on the boat or is he on the side? Because I'm saying I can hear the noise of the boat, so that's what I'm wondering. Okay, if he's getting the sound recorded, is he on it or are he on the side on the seawall?
He's on it in cuffs, and the police got his drone.
He also on it talking about the app.
That's nice.
Did you see that video that Max Air did, and the guy was flipping him off from the boat?
That was pretty good, Gary.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, and then he like does this really cool like effects where he zooms in on it. He keeps zooming in farther and farther on the guy, and the guy keeps flipping him off. He was doing an orbit around the dude.
That's what I'm saying. Gary would have been able to get an orbit around that thing, but I'm sure it was traveling about close to about 25, 30 knots right there. Yeah. That's great. So you guys got some storms rolling through Florida, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty wicked over in my area. So I said the neighbor's fence earlier was just wobbling back and forth. I thought it was going to come over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, earlier what scared me the most, and also my daughter kept jumping, was the lightning. It literally looked like a touchdown right then and there, like right there, right close to us. But I don't think nothing happened, but I know it was going crazy. Phone calls. Okay, boom, that's done. Okay, so do we have anybody else that we haven't said hi to? Oh, we got everybody else. Hey, the We UAVP, does that video have any kind of copyrighted music? Because if it does, I'm only going to play the video only. That's it.
Oh, nice, Curtis.
How you doing,
if you guys
Chris?
don't know, Curtis got a metal detector arm for his ROV for underwater.
Is that right?
So it's an attachment that goes on the front of it, and he can go metal detecting underwater.
Well, my thing is, how's the toe? I heard he had an infected toe or something.
Oh, yeah, that was last week.
How you doing, Curtis Dart? Are you talking about Curtis Dart?
Yeah, I heard he had an infected toe or something. And he didn't want to go to the doctor. Typical macho man stuff.
I will play your video as well, Jim Jordan, but not the music. So give me 1 minute. But yeah, the time that I was in that we were in the what you call it on Paul Murray's show, he did say that he was gonna go to the doctor and get it checked out. Or did he ever went and got it checked out, Justin, that you know of?
I have no idea.
Well, I
He
heard
didn't say nothing yesterday when he was on Paul's show, so I don't know.
Well, I heard they call him Nine Toes now. 9 Toes Dart.
Oh, he said he's better now.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second. Oh shoot, I'm still playing it.
Oh, so what did you think of my little video last week, Adrian?
If I'm not mistaken, I watched it and I left you a comment, and I'm still waiting for your reply.
I did send you a reply.
Okay, that was pretty cool. I mean, that was very interesting. It's kind of short, but straight to the point.
Yeah, just straight to the point. I did a follow up to that also the next day. But it's funny because I caught a little bit of Ray Kelly's and Johnny's show, and they played it on there, and they were teasing me about, I'm always so serious. And I said, that's why I said in the video, I said, well, this is when I do things for fun, I even plan it out. So it's all about doing something, creative, whatever, still plan it out. So I just kind of, Johnny and Ray kind of put a smile on my face that day. They're talking about, well, yeah, that's Dre. He's so serious. You're surprised he even did something like this.
Okay. And by the way, Curtis Dollar, he is saying that he's actually feeling a lot better, Dre.
Yeah. Well, dude.
How you doing, Greg? Harley FPV, thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that. We got Tej, Giggles and Drones. Thank you, buddy, for being here. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Harley FPV say that it's snowing. I think he's in New York. It's snowing still in May. Holy crap.
Yeah, because I saw Chuck Kovacian showed he had snow in his area, upstate New York, and somebody up in Connecticut showed a picture of one day to the next day was like clear, dry. One day, next day, whole front yard was covered with snow.
Gone.
Oh yeah, and that was in Colorado also. I think it was Vic. Vic showed that a picture of his house. One day was all clear, next day was snow.
Okay. Now this video is from DWUAVP. Guys, I'm not subscribed to his channel. I'm about to go ahead and subscribe to him. He only have 34 subs. I really appreciate it if you go ahead and show him some love and support. I just subscribed to his channel.
Yeah, I subbed to him.
Now he got 35. He did send me a link of a video, so I'm about to go ahead and play it for us. He's using the DJI Air 2S. So let me share the screen. Let's see here. Boom.
Yeah, Harley FPV says it's snowing in Colorado in May. And I experienced that. I remember I was stationed in New Hampshire back in 80, what year was that? 85. Dude, Mother's Day. Snowstorm.
The year I was born.
Yeah, snowstorm, 85.
All right, so here's the video, but I'm not going to play the music. Let's just play the video. And there it is. You guys can see that, right?
He's in my neck of the woods.
This is Dublin, Ireland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Glencoe. That is where I am Lord in Ireland.
Okay.
My certificate says Lord Draymond Crawford of Glencoe in Ireland.
Dude, well, the question is, did he pay you the permit fee to fly there, Dre?
That's what I'm going to find out. You know, so I'll have to contact my groundskeeper and find out what's going on. You don't tread on the property.
Hey, Dre, this is on Justin, everybody in the chat. This is one thing that I love and enjoy about drone. We will never get that shot if it wasn't with the drone. I mean, from the ground, you could never see, you know what I mean, how beautiful it is from looking at it from up top like that, like what it is right there.
Yeah.
That is a great shot.
And just like he created that transition right there, only a drone can give you that because you get that top-down shot of that different type of terrain, and then he transitioned it from a zoom out into this shot right here.
Yeah.
And I said, drones it gives you that opportunity to do stuff like that.
It'd be fun to go hiking there.
Walking down the trails. Hell no, not to me.
No, I'm talking about the trails that were there, though, it was flying over.
Oh, you speak for yourself, son. I've done
all the
humping up. when I got paid to do it in the Marine Corps. I ain't humping nowhere for free. That's for sure.
If I get that shit, I get it with my drone, but I'm not.
So that's what I have my groundskeeper for.
Yep.
That was a great transition right there too.
Yep.
And it's in 4K, 30 frames per second. That's great. Nice.
Yep. Nice pullback.
I love the way the cloud is right on over the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I wish
great
we had
too.
mountains in Florida.
Not like that, man. I don't think we have mountains like that in Florida.
No, I said I wish we did.
Yeah, no shit. I wish we did too. That would be freaking great.
Yeah, the mountains are nice.
Everywhere I've been to in Florida, it's pretty much flat. That is great,
Yeah, it's
man.
like Kansas, but just swamp.
Guys, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. He only has 34, 35 subs with me. Show him some love and support.
So I bought a 3D printer yesterday.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Which one?
Ender 3 off of Comgrow. It was a website AZ recommended. I guess they do all their stuff for Creality.
Okay.
And you can get right now, you can get the Ender 3 for $79 with free shipping. And I guess it's refurbished from the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
They got a bunch of good deals on there on CNC machines and everything right now.
So what do you plan on doing with it?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just going to learn it first and then figure it out from there. Learn how to use it and everything.
Oh, so you're gonna be
very
like
welcome.
you're gonna be like Jim, huh?
No, Mike and AZ and all them are helping me. No, I'm going to actually use it. I'm excited for when it gets here.
Now, let me go ahead and welcome. We got, who else do we have here? We got just seen a couple of new folks. We got Hood Tours. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. One Vision Ariel. Thank you, buddy, for being here. Thank you so much, man.
I can't buy
and you're
nothing
welcome,
and just let it sit.
UAVP. My pleasure, man.
I don't care if it's something as boring as a hose. If I buy it, I'm opening it and using it.
Now, is it brand new or used? You said it was
no, it's I guess it's refurbished from the manufacturer, from what Mike and AZ were explaining to me.
Okay.
Is it AZ is the one that recommended the site?
Got somebody else new in here. V-Dub. You get that, Adrian?
Say that again.
V-Dub just came into the chat.
Yeah, I say hi to him, V-Dub. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Let me go ahead and bring the video that that Jim's drone and went ahead and put in the link, but he got that epidemic music, so I'm not gonna play the music. So give me 1 minute and I'll pull it up.
V-Dub, are you out of northern Florida or that Jacksonville in one of the Carolinas?
And in this one, he's using the DJI Mini 2. So give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and share that screen for you. Oh, my goodness. North Florida.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. If you're in North Florida, are you in Gainesville?
No, he said one of his videos say Jacksonville showing the fireworks.
Okay. Screen.
Yeah, make sure we sub him up.
Let me go ahead and blow up the screen. And this will be from Jim's droning using the DJI Mini 2. Play.
Oh, we just got police boat chases going on today, don't we?
That DJI Mini 2, great picture as well. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's nice saturation of colors there.
And you in Canada, Jim's drone, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, him and Gary was hanging out that day together then. Gotcha.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he's in Canada as well. Like Gary.
Yeah.
I think they had their own little drone meetup, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Is something on the water? Yep, right there.
Let me see if I can find that Max Air video. That was pretty funny.
Dude, I wonder what that was. I wonder if that was drugs that he just pulled up from the water. It said police chase, but are they gonna chase somebody?
No, I think they're just showing the boat. This is the same location where Gary got that footage.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, that Mini 2 is not gonna keep up with that boat. It's keeping up a little bit sideways.
Not doing too bad at all.
It's hauling ass.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, there's the link of Max's video of the guy flipping him off in the boat.
Was Max using one of those FPV drones?
I think he was using the FPV, one of the FPVs. I'm not sure which one he was using, honestly. But it was hilarious.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hitting that thumbs up on the stream. I really appreciate that. I do want to welcome Paval Drones, Charles Goluski. Thank you for being here. Hey, Curtis Dart, I'm about to go and play your video in a minute. Just give me 1 second, sir. Did I miss Scott Nadal? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Who else did I miss? We got quite a few people here.
And Scott said
Jose.
he got the vid.
Say what now?
Scott said he's got the vid. Got the COVID.
Oh, shit. Damn, sorry to hear that, man. God, gone. That thing is getting a whole bunch of people still.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard about the new monkey pox, right?
Yeah, man, I heard about that shit recently. Man,
Every time I hear that, remember that stupid Mountain Dew commercial with the baby monkey puppy thing? Every time I hear monkey pox, that's the first thing pops in my head is that commercial.
Like it's always something coming out, man. It's always some BS.
Well,
and now I did hear it in the news talking about that's not really that easy to contract from somebody else, but eventually,
hopefully, well, supposedly you're supposed to only contract it by swapping bodily fluids. So unless you're going around and giving all your coworkers a morning kiss, you should be okay.
Well, I tell Curtis, I would love to come up there to the Seattle or even further north, Remington area. I liked it. I was in Portland for 3 years. I liked it up there. My wife, she's like, nah, because I thought about going back and retiring in that area, but my wife's not too thrilled about it. She said the 3 years that we were there in the Portland area was enough for her.
Now, this is a video from Steven Drones, and I think I've seen this one before, if that's the one that he just went ahead and sent the link. So let me go ahead and play it. Let's see here. Boom. And that. And here it goes.
Man, I ain't seen gas prices that low in probably about 15, 20 years in California.
Yeah, but look.
We got down to about $1.30 here in my area.
Man, years ago. I haven't seen gas like that in a long freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the real price right there.
Oh my God, Mike.
Dude, I'd be happy to pay $4.59 right now. We're at, I think, for me,
I know, right?
It's $6.19. Hit $6.19 this week.
$6.19 in your area, Dre?
Yep, $6.19, and I'm not even in LA. I'm 60 miles outside of LA, and it's $6.19, dude.
Jesus Christ, man! Did anybody else post another link? Let me go ahead and see.
I put that
Oh,
Max Air one in there if you want to play that.
I got one from One Visual Aero. Give me 1 minute and I get to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Guys, let's go ahead and support each other's channel. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Were you the one that sent one next, Justin, for Max or somebody else?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. It was Max's video.
No, wait a minute.
On Matt's
No, wait a
channel
minute. The
yesterday.
one from Curtis Dart was first before you. Damn, it won't let me go back on the chat any further. What the hell is going on? Hey, Curtis, do me a favor. Go ahead and drop that link one more time. Because the chat will not let me go any back any more than that. Give me 1 minute. He got music on that video, Justin?
I mean, you don't need to play the audio anyway.
And you said somebody flicked him off?
Yeah, the guy on the boat flipped him off.
Let's see here.
I don't even think it's that long of a video.
Yeah, it's flying the FPV.
Ass wipe.
He just keeps doing it over and zooming in.
Was that at the drone meetup?
I don't think so, no.
No, it don't look like it because that's a bridge. That's not a causeway. Jackass.
He keeps going ultra slow.
He showed it on Matt's channel last night. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Let's see. Mine's not a big over there, just showing the attachment. Oh, okay. You sent it through Facebook. Okay, give me 1 minute.
Now, Jim's droning, is that $8 American or Canadian? Jesus, he said over $8 a gallon in Canada.
Yeah, well, but see that what they're used to that kind of stuff. You go over to Canada, you go over to Britain, you know, they're used to paying what we're paying now. You know, just like people who live in Hawaii. You gas in Hawaii is off the charts. You know, even though it's converted in liters there, but they're still paying equivalently. For years, they've been paying somewhere close to $4 or $5 a gallon and stuff. So, yeah, we're feeling the pain that these folks have been feeling for decades.
Okay,
yeah, it's like almost 5 here.
This is something that Curtis went ahead and sent me about his water drone. So let me see here. Let me share the screen and show you guys what he's talking about. Right here. This is what it was trying to show, I guess.
My fish V6 expert with the metal detector.
Oh, wow.
I might have lost this in the water. Flashes green. It's not hard to see on my phone, but it does work.
Yeah, it is flashing green to me.
Yeah, look.
And apparently this thing wasn't supposed to be...
Change the screen real quick.
Well, apparently he got this thing early, too. Like, it wasn't supposed to be released for, like, another 4 months or something.
It works.
Somebody just, I guess the company just gave it to him.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet attachment.
But he said the biggest downfall, I guess, that everybody in the ROV community is complaining about is that you can't use the claw and that at the same time. So he said that they're actually working on a claw metal detector combo where you'll be able to detect stuff and then grab it with the claw.
That means you got to have a larger ROV to start off with to handle the two devices at the same time.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is integrate the metal detector in the claw assembly.
Yeah, well, that's my point. To have something like that, you got to have a larger unit to be able to handle all the functions and the balancing of the weight. You know, because the claw's got to have a certain amount of strength to it.
Have you ever seen Curtis's when he holds it? It's a pretty big ROV.
Yeah, I've seen some of his videos. Yeah.
Guys, you did not tell me that Mr. Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger's in the house. Thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that. Hey, Charles Gillespie, I'm about to play your video in 1 second, sir.
Curtis is saying that the issue is the app. And that's what I'm saying.
Right, because it's so new.
Well, I don't know about that. It's just now you're talking about trying to operate two different devices on this thing. You got the metal detector, which is going to require a certain amount of information for it to pick up whatever it's looking for. Then you got to have another part of the app to actually be able to articulate the grappling thing device.
Well, the
How
only
you doing,
bad thing
Travel
too
Tech?
is
Thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Hey, Travel Tech 360. That's Mr. I want to say Robbie of Drone World.
Okay. Let's see here.
we'll see. The only issue I see with that
So
metal
let me go ahead and
detector.
play the video for Mr. Charles Galusky now. Give me 1 second. I got it queued in here. Guys, Charles Galusky only has 43 subs. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and show him some love. I really appreciate it. So give me 1 minute while I queue it up.
Interesting.
Since I got good internet, I can actually share anything I want tonight. Let's see here. I'm not gonna count on Justin because he's taking his freaking sweet time. Hey, where's Matt, man? Have you heard from Matt, Justin?
The Northeast.
Yeah, man. I was gonna join this freaking.
Oh, he was up.
He
was up late as shit last night, drunk as hell this morning. Him and Bill Romaine got really drunk on. Matt did a random live this afternoon, and him and Bill were pretty toasted.
All right, so let me go ahead and play the video for Charles Galusky. Hey, Charles Galusky.
Were they
Don't
at
need
the
to worry
level
about
of
any kind of copyright music, Charles. Let me know.
Hey, Justin, were they at the level of art when he was on there drunk?
Oh, Matt, dude, Matt emptied like a whole huge bottle of whiskey or something. It was some kind of liquor.
So, Justin, Mike B said you gave him the monkeypox. What's up with that?
Yeah, he said something about I gave him monkeypox on his balls up in the chat a little while ago.
Okay. I think that's a little too much. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
That's Mike for you, though.
I said, that's telling you call it itch and scratch.
All right, here's the video right here.
Oh, no copyright issues with music.
That's what he said?
Yeah. That's what I tell him all the time.
Whoa. Where are you at, Charles Galusky? You still got snow? Holy crap. I like that sun flare right there in the middle. What drone is this?
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Is it coming down or is it hanging?
No, it's hanging somewhere. It ain't hit the ground yet. It's drifting. Okay, he's got it back. He got it back.
I thought it was hanging from the tree.
Yeah, he got it back.
Holy crap.
And I was just about to say, I would love, that's the only reason I like to go fly in the snow, to get a top-down shot and see in a little forest area. I think those are just such nice shots when I see those in people's videos who live in the snow. Is the bird's eye view shot moving along.
How you doing, Mr. Chris Westbrook? Thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Hey,
Charles, that was pretty funny, man. The music made it even more interesting, especially at the end. That was great.
Mr. JRC, stop egging Mike on.
One of my nuts look like a banana. Just make sure you have sex in the dark, because women see that, they're running for the hills.
So, Dre, is there any video you want to go ahead and share?
Nah. I think everybody's seen my little stuff over the week. I'll let everybody share their stuff.
Technically, you're not. I mean, the shots that you normally do, if I'm not mistaken, technically you're not allowed to show the whole thing. You only like showing a little snippet or what's not.
Yeah, well, the actual work flights I do, I don't share those unless I get a release to do so. And most of it is like watching paint dry. I mean, there's nothing fancy about photogrammetry work. You're shooting 9-degree angles straight down camera over a construction site. And that's about it. Is that if I do some freelance flying while I'm out there, stuff I want to do, I'll go. That's what I do. I'll share that out there because that never goes to them. That's just my footage. But then when I do that, I don't show the work. I don't show any branding of the buildings that have any signage on there or stuff like that. So I always got to be mindful of things of that nature.
There's a good little channel to support little Llama Lore. She actually just got her first drone. It was a mini SE.
Oh, okay.
I put the link in the chat. She did her second flight the other day.
Okay. Yeah, I know she's usually on Paul's channel.
Yeah.
Comes in.
How you doing, brother
just
Ray
got
Kelly?
her
Hey,
something.
buddy. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate that. Got Captain Ray Kelly and the Hizzy. Now, Justin, have you watched that video before?
What?
Have you watched the video of the link that you just posted? Have you watched it?
Yeah, it's little Llama Lore's video. Now, I don't know about the music, but you don't really need to play that.
Okay. Give me a
Now,
minute.
it's 7 minutes long,
video.
so you can kind of skip through it. But the one part that I really liked of her video was about 5 minutes in. She's going down this like line of trees. She actually did pretty good. It was only her second flight.
So is it a long video?
It's 7 minutes, but you can jump to the 5 minute mark where she's going through the trees.
All right.
She actually didn't do bad.
And she's flying with a drone?
Yeah, mini SE. It's her first drone. I mean, she had a little cheapy, like I think Holly Stone, but it wasn't nothing insane. That's just her first real drone.
Damn, it looks pretty good. You say she's flying through the trees?
Yeah, it's around 5 minutes or so. She starts flying through this line of trees with like real tall grass.
Give me 1 minute. I just found that mark. Let me go.
But she did really good. It was her only second flight ever flying like a real drone.
I heard some great things about that mini SE. All right, let me blow it up real quick and play.
I mean, and she's ballsy. I give it to her.
Did she made it in slow motion?
She did it in cine smooth. She said she hasn't taken it into sports mode yet. But right here, yeah, she just sended it right through there.
It almost looked like she slowed down the video a little bit.
Not that I'm aware of that she did any real editing to it. I think she just pretty much cut a few pieces out but posted it as is.
I see. I like the style she used. She flew it at a perspective where you think maybe a small child is walking.
That's what I'm saying. Like she slowed down the video a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that if she could have held the camera just a little more steady from looking left to right, that would have been ideal piece of footage.
Yeah, like a nice smooth walking video.
Yep. Just very cinematic, and then you transition to something else. That was a nice. I know the ideal what she had in her head when I see that footage.
For her second flight, though, I think she did really good for never really flying drones.
Oh yeah.
And she's got a really fun channel, guys. She plays games.
They made me a little nervous. She could have easily run into a tree.
Yeah, that was the same thing. Like she had no fear with flying that thing. I'll tell you that. Like I said, she's got a really good channel, and she does like Bill. She plays the games and all that different stuff like Bill does. She's a really good person.
That was pretty good, Llama Laura. That was great. Thank you for sharing.
Captain Ray Kelly's in the room, and I want to just thank him for the
Llama
phone
Laura,
call.
I guess I was not subscribed to your channel. Let me go ahead and do it right now. I just went ahead and sub to your channel. I could have sworn I was already, but I wasn't.
Well, she's not in here, but I wanted to promote her video because I thought she did a good job on it.
That's cool.
Here, boom. Okay. That we missed anybody else to say hi to? That's pretty much everybody else. Yep, everybody else is here already. Oh, we got Art. How you doing, Art? Thank you for being here, buddy. Really appreciate that. Hey, Uncle Bill Toys, I did send you a link through Messenger if you want to jump on in. Yeah, editing is hard. Dewey UAVP. I know because I'm still learning how to handle it. I'm getting better and better each and every time, but it's still hard to put a lot of stuff together. It takes a lot of freaking video, then pieces, then cutting, chopping, all that crap. It takes a while.
Yeah, and that's why I always go back to saying about have some kind of ideal of what you want to do when you go out flying. If you're trying to put videos on for that purpose, that way you know what type of flight you want to do, and it makes your editing a little easier because like little Mama Laura, that part going on that path, and then she'll have some other parts of her flying. And the only thing I would have said with her, I would have got that part walking on that path. And then I would have went ahead and flew and got a bird's eye shot straight down on top of that path and continue to flight from that position. So you got a low shot and then got a high shot looking straight down along that same path. And so you draw your audience in on what's going on the screen. Give them different perspectives.
Yep. I mean, again, the drones are just, man, I can't say it enough. I mean, they're amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Send. Yep, I sent it already. Boom, boom, boom.
I found an island out in the middle of a huge lake by my house that you couldn't even see from the shore until you got a drone in the air. Ended up finding a little island out in the middle of the lake.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, Justin, when it comes, are you actually in Orlando or are you in Winter Haven?
No, I'm in Winter Haven. I'm between Tampa and Orlando.
Okay.
But I'm in one of the fastest growing cities in Florida, though.
And somebody jumped on in, and we got Mr.
Orlando
Danny.
in another 5 years.
Hey, kid, if you chasing in the house, let me go ahead and bring him on in. How you doing, Danny?
What's happening, guys? How's everybody?
Hey, nothing much, man. How you doing, buddy? You doing pretty good?
Doing pretty good, man. It's just weather's crazy, man. It's just
Is
hot.
it still snowing over there?
Nah, man. It's like 95 degrees today.
But wait a minute. Isn't Harley FPV Greg also in New York?
He's probably in New York, but it's still hot. Yeah, one day, yesterday was cool, and today it's like 95 degrees. It's crazy.
Damn it, man. Well, I thought Florida was the only state that do that because sometimes in the winter, Justin could tell you it'd be cool. One day it'd be 30, next day it'd be freaking 80. And we're like, damn, how the hell is that happening?
I heard today was snowing in Colorado. I mean, that was crazy.
Damn it, man. I see you got your little thing set up pretty nice. Can you turn the camera and show us a little bit?
Oh, this camera. Well, I can move. That's all.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, charging some lipos for tomorrow. I'm starting to fly manual, so I'm a little nervous. The second flight. Hopefully, I don't destroy my bird.
Yeah, don't. Hopefully, you don't. I'm still a little sketchy about that. I'm still, taking my time, taking it easy. I'm actually doing the simulator a little bit more for me to get better at it.
That's what I've been doing, hitting the sim really hard so I could get some stick time because it's really hard to manage work, your house, and then trying to find time to fly. It's not that easy.
Yeah, no shit. Tell me about it. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I haven't put out any videos lately because again, I'm back to work. I mean, by the time I come home, it's kind of late and I don't have time to do nothing. I know sunset is around 8:05, 8:10 here in Florida, and it's looking beautiful lately, but I haven't even been able to go in and do that because by the time I come home, I don't feel like doing nothing else.
You're back at work?
Yeah, I'm back to work with restrictions, but I still have to do the whole physical therapy. I'm still doing that.
Yeah, that's tough, man. My job, we got some guys out. Some guys got hurt. All the guys got COVID. I mean, it's just I just got over COVID myself.
Oh no, crazy shit! Damn.
Yeah, my wife
How did that go?
got
Did you
sick
get
and
pretty bad? Did you get pretty bad, or it went a little easy on you?
I went smooth actually. I didn't even have fever. My wife got really sick and I was really nervous. I thought I had to take her to the hospital, but it
Yeah,
worked out well.
got you. Well, we have a link from V Dub. Give me a minute while I go ahead and pull that up and see what you're talking about. I think he said something about flying. See, he was flying his drone down near Glen Army Artillery Range. Okay, let's see here. Let me pull that up.
Not me, Chris. I'm one of the lucky
I think that
ones.
was I
COVID
think that was
doesn't
D
like me.
Wee V Dub. I like to see that fireworks show he has on his page.
And V Dub, I thought I just subscribed to his channel. No, I subscribed to the other one. I'm subscribed to your channel now, V Dub. So give me 1 minute. The DJI Mini 2 Northampton Golf Course. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me share the screen. Share. Chrome. Boom. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we got it.
Yep.
All right. And play.
Well, no, Chris. Me and my son both are
Yeah, that's a great
asymptomatic.
shot. I like that.
Doesn't like us.
I like that reveal.
That looks really nice.
Yeah, that was like at the right time when the guy opened that door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice editing.
And now he coming out. I like that. That was pretty smooth.
Jesus, Mike. I can swear.
Might be still going in on you.
No, he's talking about COVID.
He said he had COVID and he died, so I'm a ghost now.
No, what I was telling Chris though is me and my son are both asymptomatic, so it doesn't ever do anything to us.
Oh.
I've been around so many people with it in the same
Now
room
your
with
wife
them.
had it recently too, right?
Yeah, and me and my son have never. It's never done anything to us.
Now I thought it was
Even
just
though
me,
we-
but that's a hell of a crooked horizon right there. You guys see that?
Yeah, what is he flying with? Okay, that was straight. Well, fairly straight.
That one's still a little crooked, but
Yeah, it's a
better than
little
the
bit.
one from before.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. Did he say what drone he's flying on this?
No, it does not say that. Let me see. Let me go ahead and let me see. According to
See, check the chat. He might say it in the chat.
the DJI Mini 2. The DJI
I was
Mini 2.
about to say, I bet you it's the Mini 2 because I've had
Yeah.
issues with the horizon tilt on that lately.
Is that right?
I thought they weren't having that issue, Justin.
It's weird. The camera does weird crap sometimes. Like you'll go into sports
See,
mode
even
and
right
it'll
there, it's
drop
crooked.
and it'll
See
come
that?
back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The call is nice, but man, I
Although I mean, I haven't
that
flown
was
it in the last couple of weeks, so I know there was another update, but I haven't.
That was
done it.
horrible too. That looks really bad right there.
Yeah, that horizon on that one. Yep.
I
Maybe
mean,
you
I've gotten to the
just
point
gotta
now
calibrate
with
the
the
camera.
Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've gotten so used to the Mini 2, just kind of the camera being funky the last 3 or 4 months that I just do a camera calibration before I fly each time.
So when you do that calibration, does it take care of it?
I mean, I haven't noticed it when I do it, but if I don't do it, I've noticed sometimes it will be a horizon tilt for a little bit in the video and then it'll straighten itself out. But like I said, I haven't flown it in like about 2-3 weeks, and I know that they recently had a bunch of updates, so I'm not sure. I haven't got to do any of the updates.
V Dub said he had issues with it. The horizon.
Well, see, I had issues where I would pop it into sports mode and the camera would drop all the way down and then come back up. Just real fast. It would go like that for no reason.
Yeah.
See, I fly the Mini 1. I never had no issues with the camera whatsoever.
I
Not
never
even
had
that.
any issue with mine either, and I have the Mini 1 as well, Danny.
Me neither.
I never
Yeah.
had that problem. And I fly it in sports mode, banking it, turning hard. It never get crooked. It's all straight.
Are you getting the Mini 3, Adrian?
No. No.
That's a
I know
surprise,
you
man.
are.
No way. I'm keeping my Mini 1. Forget that.
Yeah, I'm keeping
Oh, I
my
heard a
Mini
guy,
1 too.
or Sarah was at work the other day and she's sitting in her office, right? And she hears a guy out in the hallway at the doctor's office. He's on the phone and he's like, why the fuck would I buy a Mini 3? I got 2 perfectly good Mini 2s at home. And she said, my ears just perked up and I knew what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now we
God.
Yeah,
got a
apparently it was
video
on the
from
phone.
One Vision Ariel. Hey, One Vision Ariel, do I need to worry about any kind of copyright music? Let me know. Hey, Mr. Half Drone Will Fly. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for being here. Really
Hey,
appreciate
Chris.
that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think those are 2 different videos that he posted. One Vision Ariel. Hey, Dre, did I miss anybody else? Any other link?
No, you got
Everybody
One
else.
Vision. I know he's been putting it up for a while. So One Vision, yeah, he's put up at least 1 or 2.
Okay, let me go ahead and put that one in. And that's the one that ends at 3S. The other one said, okay, all right, let me pull this one first. All right, give me 1 minute.
Oh, and if you guys didn't see Matt's show this afternoon, him and Bill were baiting AZ and Robert Glazier to come on to the chat or to the panel.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt called AZ a bitch.
Oh, wow.
So AZ and them were talking crap, but Robert Glazier ended up coming up on the panel. He didn't turn his camera on, but he came on. Oh, yeah, they were
didn't turn his camera on.
Was that the first time he ever been on a show?
I think so, yes. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but it was funny as hell, though.
But both of them have a large drone collection, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're both in Arizona, too.
Yeah, they're both Arizona.
Yeah.
Both got large collection of drones, and well, AZ never posts any of his, does he?
Nope,
I know
he
Robert
doesn't post anything.
And
Nah.
he has almost everything.
Now, Joy, do you remember this drone?
Yeah, that's the original Air One.
The original Air One. I still got that bad boy. I love it.
Like I said,
I regret selling
miss
mine,
mine.
man. That's a really great. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's an amazing. Only thing was the battery was.
Yep.
That thing was like 10 minutes.
That's the only reason I got rid of it was because of the battery. Like I say, that camera is like it always hit the mark. No matter how I flew, that camera always hit the mark.
And it was loud as hell too.
I didn't even care about that part. I'm like,
well, for me that was kind of good.
Yeah.
Because it scared the birds away.
Now, why is it shaking like that? Mine doesn't shake like that.
No,
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It's got a cold.
Yeah, mine have never shake like that. Like how it's shaking like that. Mine never done that. Did yours ever do that, Dre?
No. I was just
saying
that
like
camera.
The stabilization screwed up or something.
I mean, even in sports mode, they never done that. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. That smooth flying right there.
No, it has a
It
has a 2-axis gimbal, right?
No,
three.
The original Air is
No,
a 3.
It's a 3-axis gimbal,
Okay.
not 2.
Even my Spark never shakes like that. It has 2-axis gimbal.
Yeah,
but it's also assisted by. Isn't it assisted by stabilization though, like electronic stabilization? It's not.
No.
Okay.
But I understand that. That's what I liked about the original Air. The camera was always dead on. I never had any shake or any issue. No matter what I was shooting, it was always dead on the mark. I said the only drawback was the battery. That's the only reason I got rid of it was the battery.
There's the drone's arch nemesis,
Yep.
power lines, and he's just hovering right around them,
Mm-hmm.
asking for trouble.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Again, like you just said, Dre, when it comes to and Danny, when it comes to the Mavic Air original one, the battery life is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about what you're gonna say in like 10 years, right? When like the Mini 7's out, you're gonna be like the Mini 2 had a trash battery life. When you get like 90 minutes on a battery.
Well, like I said, I enjoy flying it. Like I said, the camera was always on point when I used it. It just for what I want to use it for wasn't practical. And
you have to have a ton of batteries. That's
right.
For sure.
And like I say, when I can get almost twice the capacity in a Phantom that I do out of the Mini 1, it's just a no-brainer.
I don't really think I would ever care if a drone ever had more than 30 minutes of flight time, as I don't really feel like I ever need more than that. At least not for what I do.
No. And that's what I tell
maybe
everybody.
You doing commercial work, that would make sense to have, a 90-minute battery.
Yeah, like I say, if it meet all other parameters, yeah, 90-minute batteries just means I got to buy less batteries.
Right.
And that's a big benefit. 'Cause like I tell people, I have on these drones, I have an investment close to about $1,000 worth of batteries.
I said I
That's a
wouldn't care
great
being
rate.
just a recreational pilot. I wouldn't care.
Mhm.
I don't really care about 45, 50-minute flight time. It doesn't
Yeah.
really make me want to buy a drone.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, now
great
if you
flight
flew
right there,
FPV, that
Mother
would be great to
Genera.
have some kind of battery time.
Yeah, that I
You-
say FPV batteries will start to. I think they will eventually start to increase their range.
Now,
Go
one
from
Yeah.
Vision Hero,
36
what drone is
batteries
this
for
one you're
5
flying
minutes
right
to
here?
22.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This guy takes me 45 minutes to charge it, and it gets me like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
Well, you remember like RC cars and shit back in the day, right? You'd get like 10 minutes out of the battery. It took like 8 hours to charge it.
Oh my
Hell yeah,
god.
from one day to another, you have to charge it up.
That was the worst, man. And you'd only have one battery as a 12-year-old.
Uh-huh.
You weren't a 60-year-old retired with 15 batteries.
Oh jeez.
You got the one battery that came with the car, and that was it.
Now, Justin,
Yeah.
were you the type of kid that used to buy stuff from Radio Shack? Because I'm guilty.
Oh, my dad.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I was younger,
That
my
was my
dad used to
favorite
buy
shop.
he used to buy RC cars from there all the time for like Christmas and stuff.
I used to get all my batteries, all my crap from that place, and I freaking loved it. I was pissed off when they closed it. I was mad when they
Yeah.
closed it.
Oh, I was mad too because I can get all the little gadgets out of there, all the little extra parts you need stuff and fix stuff, and
Oh,
even
like
stuff around your house.
resistors and all that.
Yeah, resistive, but even like the batteries for your cordless phones in your house. Radio Shack always had them and stuff. Now you
Yeah.
can't find. You have to go online to find them. Ain't
The
no
worst
Radio
thing
Shack
they ever
around.
did was go to cell phones because they had a perfect niche, right? As
Yeah.
far as a business model, because there was no other store that sold the shit they sold.
Yeah,
And then they decided to let's get into the market that every other retailer is getting into.
right. Yeah,
And it was stupid.
yeah. And like I say, now my days of being young, especially when I started driving, because my older brother was into music and everything else. So when I got my first car, I set up my first rear deck of my speakers in my car. I got all parts from Radio Shack. I bought the resistors, capacitors, and stuff. So I didn't buy nothing off the shelf. I went and bought me an 8-inch woofer, big, huge horn tweeters, put them in the rear deck of the car. I had everything wired up and stuff. Had a
There you
little
go.
10 band equalizer power thing in the front.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna blow your minds now. I was top notch back in '79 with my auto reverse cassette deck.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
I did that
tell
once,
you,
and I did that once, and I got pulled over by the cops just leaving the house. I said, you know what? Let me just tune it
Yeah.
down a bit.
Yep. But
I mean-
I bought all my speaker parts out of Radio Shack, dude.
As convenient as Apple Music is, I do miss having the big old CD books in the car. Remember those,
Yeah.
Adrian? Thumbing through
Oh, yeah.
CD books while you're doing 6 feet down the highway.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Had a 5-disc changer.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you were badass if you had the 10 disc in the back. In the
Yeah,
trunk.
Yep.
Oh man, good old days. I tell you, they don't make them
You know,
like they used
Walmart
to.
still sells the tape deck inserts.
Is that right?
Yeah, they
Really?
still sell them for like $5-6. You can still buy them at Walmart.
It's crazy.
Surprised
Bill
you
Roney,
buy a
the link is
VCR.
there, buddy.
But you're right, Justin. The Radio Shack had a market all to its own, and they try to follow the trends of the other stores to try to keep people coming in the doors. But they didn't realize they had a gold mine sitting there with replaceable parts.
And they
Good
probably
stuff.
still be around if they would have stayed in that, because
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that were pissed when they went to the other stuff, and then they stopped
Yeah.
going in there because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And their
Yeah, I
business
was
went
just
way
gonna-
down.
I was just gonna say that before, like a year before they went out of business, they changed all the products, and it wasn't even
Yep.
it wasn't fun going there no more. It was
Yep.
just getting weird. But That
Yeah.
works,
What
man.
was stupid was Sprint was dying too, and I don't know what it is with these dying companies. They're like, okay, we can't even do our own company, so let's buy another one. It was like Kmart and Sears. Like neither one of them could run their companies to get back to the way they used to be, but yet
Yeah.
they decided let's merge together. Like,
How you
Yeah.
doing, Akarasha? Thank you for being here, buddy. Good night. I'll see you later, man. Thank you for popping in. Now we got Mr. Bill Ronayne in the green room. Let me go ahead and bring him on in. He's drinking his coffee, giving me the finger. He's
That's
actually
gotta be
mooning
Matt.
me right now. He's mooning me right now. I don't even know. I'm not gonna bring that into my show. Put on some underwear first, and then I'll bring you in. All right. I think he put on some clothes. There you go. How you doing, buddy?
no, it's Bill.
What was all that?
What was scary was he was describing Matt.
I like he was literally doing all of that, Justin. I had to let him stay in the back room till he got all that out of his chest. Now that he's on, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Good. I'm eating pho.
Just woke up from his drunken stupor this morning.
No.
Did you figure out your channel name yet?
No, I haven't come up with anything yet. I mean,
I'm telling you, the
Just-
adventures of
Justin made me a
Uncle
logo
Bill.
and everything already. So I don't know. Ronayne's, what did he call it? Ronayne.
Where in the hell is Jim Bosher?
Ronayne's Drones in Tech or something like that.
Hey, Bill, where's Jim Bosher? Where the hell is he at?
Canada.
I think that's where he stays at. I'm saying, where is he at?
Well, I don't know. You want me to tell him to get over here?
He's
Please?
probably playing with the clowns.
All right. Send him a link.
So, Dre,
Yo.
when you gonna go ahead and send me that Enterprise this way for me to take it for a joyride?
I ain't gonna be taking for no joyride. I'm not gonna send to you for no joyride. I'm about to pay this sucker off by the end of the year,
Damn.
so I can buy me something else.
Hey, how you doing, Drone Ready? Mr. Ronald Lockwood, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for being here.
Run,
Ronald
look in the
Lockwood,
house.
if you can be in, let me know and I'll send you a link right now, sir.
Yeah,
Now, Dre,
yeah,
have you taken that bad boy on one of your jobs yet?
yeah. I took it to the housing one over in Fontana, California. And I flew it up in the mountains and everything else. So
Once or a couple times, a few times?
once I took it once out there. Other times I've flown it is here by my house.
Okay.
So I took it on the job once, and that's about it.
Can I make
Well,
a comment about batteries, by the way, before I...
Sure.
I heard you guys talking, and I wanted to come in. You were talking about like a 90-minute battery or, above whatever you were talking. I just barely
Mhm.
came in because I was making my fuck. And I heard that. I thought, I don't want a 90-minute battery. I mean, no matter how big the battery is, it can only be recharged so many times. Now, if you're using a battery most of the time, 25 minutes, you're not going to leave it with 75%, the next time you go out, probably just recharge it again. And you probably just recharge it again. So a 90-minute battery is going to be pretty damn expensive. And I think you're better off with batteries that are smaller.
Well, that's kind of brides the point I said. Most recreational pilots aren't going to fly for 90 minutes straight. Now, if it was somebody like Dre, it would make sense because he could go through a 90-minute battery.
No, but I bought 90 minutes worth of batteries when I got the Flymore kit. I got three 30-minute batteries.
Right.
I could have, like he's saying, you could buy less batteries if you had one 90-minute battery. But one 90-minute battery is going to cost a shitload of money. And I'm not going to fly for 90 minutes most of the time. Even he's not, for the most part, not in one shot.
You'd be surprised. The shot I did yesterday, I had to use 3 batteries just doing the photogrammetry part. So we use an estimate. Oh, those are the high capacity Phantom batteries. So
and they last how long?
I only fly for 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's all I fly. So 3 batteries, 20 minutes. That's an hour.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying that for the work I do, that would be nice. This is what I look at. It's not so much of changing batteries is a big issue with me. It's I can continue to get the work done quicker because I don't have to bring the drone back, switch out a battery, restart the software.
Like that you need to use 3 batteries. Is that a usual thing or
for the photogrammetry part, that is about average. Sometimes if you're doing like a roofing on some of these large warehouses, you'll use up to 5 or 6 batteries.
Oh, what's up, man?
I've used 3 batteries in a day, but afternoon, whatever. But not necessarily all, obviously.
Right.
Not all,
yeah.
At one time.
And
that's the only thing. A 90-minute battery would cost a shit ton of money.
Well, that's what I was telling you. I said for the amount of batteries I do have for my drones, it would be an equal swap.
Right.
Like I say, I have an average of 6 batteries per drone. Phantom batteries, $200 a pop. Same thing with a Mavic 3 battery, with a 210, whatever, 220 a pop. So if I got one that was 60 minutes long or 90 minutes long, and it cost me $800, $900, it's a straight up cross.
Well, my whole thing is the progression's going to eventually get there, but that's not my concern when I buy a drone. If it can do 30 minutes or more, then that's fine with me. I'm fine.
And technically, you do have drones that can fly that long. Some of the fixed wing drones that do agricultural work, they do fly for an hour.
Well, they're much larger. You can put a marine battery in them.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That for those who do commercial type work, there are certain type of drones that can give you that kind of flight time. That's why Jess was saying for a hobbyist, it's not necessarily needed. For somebody like me, you're doing commercial work, it'd be a benefit. And for me, the cost factor would be straight across. I can buy a bunch of smaller batteries and have to bring it back, swap.
Well, that's why I don't understand the bigger battery for the Mini 3. I mean, I understand it and I don't. You need 47 minutes in a Mini 3, and now it's no longer a sub 250 drone. And a bigger investment, and I just think it's a waste of money. 30 in a hobbyist drone, 30 minutes is fine. Now if you're actually in Europe and you're using it as a commercial, for commercial purposes, I guess that makes sense to buy a 47-minute battery. But why here? Or why?
Yeah, wouldn't the extra weight just overwork the motors?
No, because basically, if right now you got the Mini 3 coming out, Mini 3 Pro coming out,
right,
and they're talking about they have an extra capacity battery that can fly for 40 plus minutes,
right,
and it just barely kicks it above 250 grams.
Well, I don't know what it weighs.
I saw I think it was Geeks Vana was talking about it, and that's why they're not selling it in Europe, because of that factor. You cannot buy one with the extra capacity battery because
it puts you over 250.
Puts you over 250.
I see a new underground market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That if they have the technology now that they can make a drone that small with a battery that flies that long, and it still weighs less than 3 kilograms altogether and stuff, or 300 kilograms altogether, it's just, like I said, just a matter of time when they'll make one for a larger drone that can fly 40, 60 minutes, and there you go.
Well, I'll tell they have a battery that lasts over 40 minutes. What drone is it? The Mini.
One of the nanos. Because right now,
how far do you?
Bigger drone. Didn't their
no, the Mavic 3, the Mavic 3 flies 40 something minutes, right?
I think so.
Mavic,
I think it's like 45 or something. Or
45 minutes.
One of the drones had a big brick of a battery.
But Dre, do you think that the mini series though is close to hitting that plateau of what the hell else are they going to put in this thing, or how much more can they fit in?
Right.
Well, it's DJI. As we all see them as they grow over the years, they have their hands in every bit of the drone market. You want an FPV drone? They got one for you, and they're coming out with another one. If you want a small drone that fits in your pocket, or you can put it in your backpack, whatever, they got that for you too. If you want something bigger, stronger, more cinematic, they got that too. And if you want to do commercial work and you want to, rule the skies, You want to pay the money, they got that too.
Well, this is the thing, though.
They
Is
don't
like,
miss you.
but this is the thing is all the other foldable drones, right? They can go any which way with the weight because they're not trying to keep it at a certain weight, right?
Guys, I'll be right
So they
back. Give
can
me a
pack
minute.
more stuff into it
Well,
or take stuff out. Where the mini, they're trying to stay
Well,
in that
that's what.
200.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Hey, Justin. Dre, give me 1 minute. Let me just say hi to Brad Austin, River City RVA. Give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Go ahead and continue. I'll be right
All right.
back.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Justin. They got their hands in every bit of the market, and that's why I'm saying that it's such a joke in a way that our government has placed DJI on the entity list or blacklist, whatever you want to call it, trying to suppress their dominance here in the United States. But the few manufacturers of drones here in America don't make nothing for consumers.
They don't have. That's what I'm saying. Is like, why does it matter? Because they have no interest in making consumer drones.
Yeah, like I say,
Well, they do. They just can't compete price wise.
right.
You know,
That's it. They cannot compete price wise.
you know, the biggest investors in DJI are not Chinese. You know that, right? They one of the biggest investors in American. They actually have outside investments, and they're not run by the Chinese government either. I mean, it's all baloney. You know, this whole thing with them. They're a business trying to make money.
So that's what I'm saying is that DJI, basically wherever direction they want to go, they take the market with them. Everybody will continue to play catch up with them, no matter what. And that's why I say every time somebody comes out with something, what does DJI do? Hey, hold my beer, dude. I got this. You know,
the Evo 2 supposedly flew 40 minutes. By the way, I just told it.
Right, yeah, the Evo 2, 40 minutes. And what does DJI come out with the next year? You got the Mavic 3 Pro, 40 minutes. You know, Skydio 2, the X2, whatever it is, supposed to be the ones that got the military contract here in the United States. What does DJI do? Give you the Matrice 30T. You know, and it's got everything built into it.
Skydio doesn't seem to be trying anyway. They're
not trying. They're not trying. They got a government contract. That government contract covers everything they need to do and want to do. Like I said, there's not a truly American made drone that you can purchase under $8,000.
Right.
Well, it's not commercial.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's all it is. All commercial, military grade stuff. I mean, you can't go in there and buy something from an American manufacturer for $2,000, $3,000, which is still quite a bit of money. But at least they say, "Oh, we do have something for the real hardcore enthusiasts." No, they don't have nothing. And all their application for their drones is slated for military and that type law enforcement type area. So that's what I'm saying. There's such a joke to how they're trying to slow DJI down with these different little. That's why I say it's mostly political more than anything else. It's nothing to do with.
You check out the Vantage Robotics, the Vesper.
Yeah, I saw, and I think they require you got to buy 2 of them. If you order it, you have to buy 2 of them, and they're like $12,000 a piece.
Oh no, they started 7,000 according to this article here.
Is that right?
They started $7,000 Vantage Robotics Vesper drones now available to the public from, and they got a little tilde, $7,000.
Okay, I know it's one of them that said, "Oh, you can buy one of these, but minimum order is 2." So like, it's a joke.
They're pretty bad. They're pretty badass. I mean, you know, I mean, you could fly this thing in pouring rain and whatever. I mean, it's got. I mean, it's badass.
Yeah, I was saying that. I mean, you know, it just there's nothing for the consumer market, and that's the killer part. That the government has done these things to DJI, using the rhetoric of them spying on everything. I said the drone only can spy where we fly it.
Well, I don't think that American companies are really incapable of not mass producing drones on a DJI scale, whether they're more expensive or not. I think they could easily do it if they really wanted to. And I think there's tons of people out there that would buy them just because they would rather have an American drone over a Chinese drone.
It's market driven. I would buy it because it's an American drone with an American markup, but not ridiculous markup. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But what I'm saying though is like I would love to buy American drones because to be honest, I hate supporting a Chinese company. Period.
Right.
fucking hate it.
Yep.
But they make good shit. I can't doubt them for that.
Yeah, and like I said, I believe at least 60 to 7% of people here in the United States would say the same thing. They would prefer to buy American-made, built drones because they know we all know that that's supporting our own economy, our own economic engine here that keeps one of our people we know employed. Okay, that's just self-preservation. But like we said, when you don't make anything that's in a market, like I say, the labor cost alone here in America, we're still the top labor market on the planet. What we pay our workers and everything else, we're still on top of the heap. Nobody pays their workers the way we get paid. Nobody, and I said we work longer hours than the other people on the planet still also.
I'm wondering, you know what I'm really curious about is, and I've been surprised about is, where the hell's Japan at? You think they would have some badass commercial?
You know what?
Or
I was when I got into drones, that's the first place I looked for was, okay, what is the Japanese got?
Yeah, you think they would have some badass drones for the consumers? Like you think they would have their own version of DJI?
Yeah, and I guess they decided not to play in that market.
I mean, I was expecting when I first got into drones, I was like, I'm expecting a Japanese drone that comes flying and then boom into a transformer onto the ground.
Toyota drone.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sony and Toshiba and the rest of them have done a market analysis of this and what the investment cost was and how many years they would and it probably just didn't make financial sense. Instead they just supply parts.
One thing here, Sony did put out a drone.
Yeah.
What was it cost? $7-8 grand for that. I forgot the name of it, but and basically you got cinematic drone that costs you about $7-8 grand, and that's just for the drone itself. That don't even include the payload of a camera.
Right.
So you're going to spend another several $10,000 and change on a couple of maybe one or two payloads, or maybe just one of a camera.
And I don't mind supporting a Japanese company, honestly. I mean, I think the Japanese are some good people. So.
I like the Japanese. I like the Chinese too.
I mean, the Chinese people are good people, but I just don't like the government.
Right. It's the government.
Japanese build.
V-dub, it's delicious. Thank you for asking.
I really love the Japanese culture. I think they have a really awesome culture too. Like
this is fun.
If I could go to one Asian country, that would be the one I'd love to visit.
This is like a
Thai day. I hear they got some good vending machines.
They got more vending machines per capita than any other country. And they got some awesome fucking vending machines.
At least they don't have guns. Imagine that. That would be crazy.
So that's why I said it's sad in a way. Like most of the electronics that we have that are out there even to this day over the last 40 years, the vast majority of the technology was birthed here in America, but because of labor costs, we outsourced it overseas. Most of our phones overseas. Most of our even stereo equipment we were just talking about come from overseas.
Mike.
What is he doing now? I like the sideways.
Swear to God, he's on a fucking roll tonight.
But like I said, that has been our history in America. That we come up with a lot of bright ideals, inventing stuff, but then we ship it overseas and they end up building it.
Yeah, because we still have the biggest per capita of what is it? The like inventions, the patents, and all that.
Yeah,
we still have the highest per capita for that.
And one of the biggest things that I look at, especially for you guys on the East Coast, is how come even to this day we don't have a true bullet train in the United States when all the technology is developed right here, but we don't have a true bullet train. You got one running all over Europe. Japanese has got them like Skittles, but we do not have a true bullet train here in the United States.
Because the environmentalists fight those things. That's what it's up to.
Aren't they building one in California?
You think they'd be for them because
it's like this, right?
But like I say, Danny,
right, it's environmentalist.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You think they'd be for it because less people would be driving, but you still got to lay track and go through areas where people aren't already living, which is upsetting the local. You should have seen them fighting the train that they just put in Florida here. You know, there's a new train that nobody takes that runs north and south in Florida now, and environmental and concerns, they were fighting it like crazy.
But
it's like they talk out of both sides of their face.
Yeah.
Well, it's
My
like
biggest
let's
point-
shut down
my
the
biggest
pipeline
point
and
is
truck oil
that
everywhere.
the technology was developed in the late 60s, early 70s. So the cost factor was what we look at now, environmental impact, was not really a concern. We just didn't want to do it because we had other influences, which was the automotive industry. That's why California is the way it is. California was dominated behind the auto industry that built all these freeways and insisted all these freeways get built. And that's why we're just now trying to build a train in California, because the auto industry has such a stranglehold on government influence here in the state.
There's a good question.
I mean,
for
don't you
guys.
still need a car anyway? Are you going to be tied to a train schedule for what you do and how you live your life?
Well, like I say, you look at guys like Tom's a New Yorker. You know, he can tell you versus riding a subway or a train compared to trying to get across New York.
Well, that's New York City. The majority of the country doesn't live in New York City. You know, and believe me, I lived there. And not most of the country doesn't look like that shithole. You know,
there's a good question for you guys on the screen there. You guys might want to answer, because nobody's done anything stupid with an Altel yet. The minute they do something stupid with an Altel's going to put restrictions on it. Mark my words.
Well, we're going to get to the VW. I just want to hear Tom's talk on this. He's about to talk about trains in New York and everything else. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So trains in New York, no problem, Bill. Trains in New York are effed, okay? Pretty much fucked. Most people don't want to ride mass transit, but they have to.
Right.
Okay, the masses can't get around New York City. Remember, New York City was built out of the borough of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Western Queens. But as the outer boroughs continue to grow, the transit system didn't follow up. Mm-hmm. Now, we should all be envious of the transit system in the EU, okay, and in the UK, and even Ireland, okay? It's far superior to what we have here. Right. Maybe they don't run as frequently, but they run on time. That's one thing you can't count on in this country, is the rail system to get you anywhere on time. That's the biggest problem we have. Where everywhere else in the world, they depend on it. I mean, Japan is clockwork. Yeah. Okay? Trains aren't more than 10 to 15 seconds out of sync.
Well, can I say one thing about that, though?
In the infrastructure here, okay? So if you look at the Metropolitan Transit Authority in New York City, they're still using a signaling system, an analog signaling system. Mm-hmm. And that's why trains can't run as frequently as they need to move as many people as they need to. And then now there's the security issues. Any place now there's a large gathering of people, you have risks, right? Mm-hmm. And the New York City transit system is just fraught with that, fraught with problems. We talked about Japan not being in the game, and the U.S., okay, not being able to produce a decent product. It's a decent product at a price. We'd all want to buy U.S., right? But when it really comes to shove, and the price sticker shock takes over, okay, we wind up buying something a little bit cheaper because it's a better dollar value. Mm-hmm. And that's what we don't invest in this country is, look, we've offshored everything. Tell me what military products are built today that don't have foreign components in them. Yep. Very, very, very limited. Okay? We're looking for the cheap way out. We're capitalists. We look for the cheap way out because the profit margin is higher. So we've got to come to terms with that. Okay? And we just went through a pandemic where we got short-sheeted. How many times did we get short-sheeted? N95 masks, okay? Personal protective equipment, even nitrile for gloves was a problem, okay? Now we have a baby formula issue. One thing we better realize is we've gone global, and it's really hard to pull back from going global. Now, where
Well,
the real problem,
the baby formula issue was it was
well,
government
the baby formula issue is not responding quickly enough. Okay,
months. They knew
the thing
about
is,
it
you
last
realize
October.
also the complexities that the FDA has brought into the process. We sit here, we complain about the FAA. Guys, you don't even know the half of it. The FDA is so much more effed, okay,
Yeah.
Oh man.
than the people who control our airspace. Why do you think you're paying for what you're paying for in health insurance and pharmaceuticals? They're a contributing factor right there. Okay, but going back to the cost of a U.S. drone, the cost of a U.S. drone, the Blue UAS program is choking public safety. Okay, I get up on my soapbox about public safety all the time. Public safety depends. The small fire departments, EMS providers, police departments across the country, public safety groups across the country, they depend on grant funding. Grant funding, whether it's derived through the state or through the feds, is usually controlled through the Homeland Security channels, even through the state. You know yourself, okay, Dre, California State, okay, Homeland Security. I had to deal with New York State Homeland Security. In order to spend $1 on drone technology, it had to be Blue UAS. So what did I do? I took a parallel track. I didn't use grant funding to buy our UASs. I wound up going to the Fire Foundation. I wound up going to various charities and with my hand out. And that's how we introduced product that we could leverage. Now, you're telling me that the Department of Interior is banned from using their entire fleet of DJI product. Meanwhile, our national parks, okay, those are landscapes that have been around for millions of years. Tell me that Google Earth doesn't contain the data that we would provide a foreign country through these drones.
Yep.
I'm not talking about during military operations or as we're moving resources from A to B. I'm talking about the work that DOI does, the tree planting issues we have, the fires, forest fires we're having as a result. People don't realize that the inability for Department of Interior to fly has contributed, okay, to the loss of acreage across this country because they can't determine the replanting sequences. They can't determine the fire break requirements and where there are brush and overgrowth issues.
Right,
all
they
that
got to
was
clean
done
it up.
by drones.
Yep.
They had to fall back to the old way of doing business, which means you can't cover as much ground. And we're talking about a significant amount of ground.
Well, look down to California. They had huge fire problems for the longest time because the underbrush, the environmental groups were fighting underbrush cleanup.
Yeah,
right.
And it caused fires to spread through that state like wildfire. You know,
Well,
I mean,
you know, Bill, it's an inherent problem we have is a lack of common sense or the lack of common sensibilities, where, you know, we constantly say follow the science, but then we have idiots come out that, you know, say, oh yeah, underbrush, you know, is a natural occurrence that needs to be protected. Meanwhile, the science shows that if the underbrush is not cleaned out, the life that exists there doesn't continue.
Right.
Well, you know, wildfires are a natural occurrence.
I am back.
It's the natural cleansing, right?
Right.
What you get is a richer growth. Wherever there was a fire, once they're able to replant, that replanting takes root very, very quickly in those areas because those areas are now rich, okay, in nutrients.
Yep.
It's just like lava fields, okay? Lava fields tend to be some of the richest agricultural land. But we got to be able to use this technology, okay, and leverage it to the level that it needs to be leveraged in the public sector. And this nonsense about where we get the drones from, you're right. There isn't a drone built today that doesn't have Chinese subcomponents in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
There isn't an ESC that's made outside of the mainland China. And Japan has moved into a different realm now. Okay? They're not the big producer of electronics anymore.
Right.
Because they leverage mainland China and Southeast Asia to do the actual production work, as we in this country have come to do. Why? Because we can afford more toys.
But one thing, Tom, is that I hear a lot of complaints. Well, let's go ahead and build here in America, but anytime we do, it's going to double or triple the price than what China can actually make the item, cheaper.
Well, like I said, if they could be produced here with say a 20%, anywhere between 10 and 20%, I think people would buy it. And what would happen? I mean, and if they sold well, the price would come down. I mean, that's how that
10
works.
to 20% increase, but that would bump your GDP by a good 30 to 35% if you were actually producing more product internally with a higher consumption rate, right? So your offset would be there. The problem is we walk into a Best Buy and there are two identical products there, one made in the USA and one not. And the price difference is going to be 35 to 40% difference on that sticker. And Bill, what you're reaching for, unfortunately.
Well, again, I would pay a premium for a USA, an actual USA, not assembled in USA, but actually produced here. But also, what would help is if there was actually an advantage to it. Like it I don't want to say better, but it had at least features that were, because you're talking about the exact same product. Sure. I pay too much money for my Harley, as an example, because I like Harleys. I like an American. I mean, I know it's got some Chinese parts in it.
Yeah,
I know,
but what doesn't?
I know that, but not many. There's more Japanese, Japanese and Korean parts in it. And I don't have a problem with South Korea producing drones either. By the way, that would be good. But you could pay a premium, but if they can do it and make you happy you did it because it had some kind of technology that the other guys don't do.
Yeah, but Bill, you're asking us to be at the forefront, okay? And the problem is we've offshored that as well. We've offshored that as well, though. I mean, if you look, we don't support STEM in this country to the level that we need to.
Nope.
Okay, we don't even come close. There are finally we're starting to get the word out that you don't necessarily have to go to college to earn a good living. Okay. Right. But we had this huge gap where you were either a failure unless you attended college. Okay. And that was almost a 40-year period. Okay. And so what we have now is we have this layer. Okay. It's like an Oreo cookie, but we forgot that we needed cream to make it the Oreo cookie. So we're not progressing our talent pool to the level we need to. And I think drones is a good opportunity to increase that talent pool. I mean, you turn on a drone in a third grade class, tell me you don't get their attention quickly. Okay? And you can go, I'm just thinking myself, man, how I could probably excel in school. Okay? My biggest problem was I was bored shitless. But man, you introduce a drone to me. I now want to know about the physics of that drone. Okay. What the thought process is that keeps that drone up in the sky. All those things start to flood in. I mean, the first time I had a drone, I looked at a 400-foot tripod. Okay. As a photographer, I looked at it that way and said, man, this is a tool. And then I went headlong into it. But the group of us sitting here on the panel are not unlike the people in the chat. We thirst for this kind of stuff. Okay. YouTube is my savior. YouTube has gotten me out of a great deal of heartache. I've thrown away quite a few owner's manuals in my day. Okay. But now you have the YouTube safety net. But we got to get the knowledge into at a much earlier time frame with kids. And because we need the people to build this stuff, we need the labor force to build this stuff.
Yeah.
We need the innovators behind the scenes who are coming out with those new feature sets you want, Bill, in order to offset that.
You know, we got the talent here. Intel is still the largest producer of CPUs in the world. Yeah, so obviously, the talent, the intel, and the research, it's there. It's in fact, drones brag about having Intel processors, for a reason. I don't know. I think it can be done. That's all.
Well, somebody made a good
a
point
company
one
like
time,
Intel.
right,
Intel's a global company now. Okay,
so a lot of the chips are made in Malaysia.
Yeah. And again, I don't have a problem with product being built in countries that have a democratic government that believe in human rights. Okay, and there are minimum standards for the way their citizenry is treated. Okay, I do have a problem with countries having complete oversight into some businesses. I know, Bill, you mentioned that DGI has, international investors, but unfortunately, because they are a mainland China country in Shenzhen, they are required to provide the Chinese government with complete transparency. So that's where the U.S. government was concerned about data flow. But again, the U.S. government couldn't decide whether there was a problem or not. Today, there's still an issue where there are major government agencies, both in the defense sector and in the public safety sector, who disagree whether data, even Department of Homeland Security, 3C, Cyber Security Command, okay? They say that you can encapsulate that data. But the U.S. Army, okay, Intel Group, says it can't, it's still at risk. And as a result of that, you can't spend $1 grand on a DJI drone, even though the Mavic Enterprise Advanced is probably the best tool to get at the local level and in the air within a matter of minutes.
Yep.
Okay? The Matrice series, from the 200, 210 RTK to the 300 to the M30T. The M30T I see as a workhorse for the public safety sector. There's probably no better tool out there right now at a cost that can be afforded by the majority of departments out there. Now,
but if they can sandbox,
I got to buy Blue UAS. Well, I might not be able to afford it, or to get the grant funding to afford it.
But if they can sandbox those systems, so that you're not concerned about data flow back to China somehow. Once you purchase the product, I don't see why they can't get past this.
Skywood, drone deploy. I mean, the product's already out there, Bill.
Yeah.
But you got one analyst in the Department of Defense, U.S. Army, which, by the way, there's 2 other branches who think you should be able to use them. Okay, that says, oh no, I see a potential risk. So one analyst sees a potential risk, that becomes a liability that nobody wants to shoulder, and as a result of that, there are numerous fire departments and police departments and EMS agencies who could leverage drones who can't buy them. And you got an agency, okay, the Department of Interior, with over 10,000 aircraft they can't fly. And that's all because an analyst said there might be a risk. So this is, we need to get smart about this crap. We need to be able to afford it.
Yep. And like anything else, as far as technology and stuff, as the higher ups are using it more and more, that translates down to the consumer level.
Yeah.
And it becomes available to us at lower costs because the industry continues to move forward, more innovative. So we get the stuff that's already been proven at a cost that we feel reasonable.
Dre, with that argument, Turkey should start building consumer drones soon, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Turkey might get a contract from Amazon with the Bayraktar drop system. Okay.
Right. So the
you get your package laser guided right to you.
I'm trying to think of I can't think of the name of the girl. Not the Taliban, but what was the other group there in outside of Turkey? They were fighting against us and everybody else in Syria. I remember seeing a picture about a year or two ago of all the Phantom 3 Pros they had accumulated.
You talking about Israel?
Not Israel. It was the
talking about ISIS.
ISIS, yes,
oh,
ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS had accumulated almost, I think he said over 100 plus Phantom 3 Pros, and they were using them for anything from surveillance of enemy movement to artillery spotting to troop everything. And I'm like, I said that old technology, still viable, still works. It is the application how it's been put to use.
I think it's all short-sighted. I mean, because they're worried about. But if these drones were from England, nobody would care. It'd be okay. Yeah, well, England's our pal. Well, today's friend is tomorrow's enemy. I mean, it's a shifting world all the time.
Can you say Afghanistan?
Turkey's been our pal, been our enemy, been our pal, been our enemy. What was that?
Mm-hmm. Can you say Afghanistan?
Yeah. Absolutely. So and now heroin prices are up. I'm very disappointed.
Hey, Uncle Bill, aren't you a vet?
No.
Okay.
Really,
are you a vet?
Everybody in my family but me. Really bad asthma. So I almost went in and lied to them, and I chickened out because I didn't think I'd make it through boot with my asthma the way it was.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Dre, is the 2-hour mark, buddy. You gonna stick around a little bit longer? Or you gonna call it a night?
No, I got Tom. Tom, are you still in the West? Or are you back in New York?
I'm in your time zone, baby.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tag. I'm gonna tag Tom in. I mean, let me get it right. Let me tag Tom in and stuff. Since he's out here with me, he can hang on for a little bit since he came late to the party. And stuff. So yeah,
I'm going back to New York second week in June for reunion, my WTC checkup, and then I think I'm going to get a little bit of flying in with Eddie Nunez and Stevie Bronx.
Okay.
Anthony Charles, Invincible Storm. So,
right.
And maybe Deneen also. Deneen Pagan.
I haven't seen a video from Anthony Charles in a while. Is he laying
well,
low?
Anthony, it's too funny. Anthony lives in Brooklyn, and Anthony loves the snow. So all Anthony does now is complain about the heat. Okay, even though he'll be down in the Far Rockaways flying, he comes out with some great stuff. By the way, his time lapses are phenomenal.
Yeah,
Eddie's been on a mad tear with the Mini 3 videos. So, he's been on a tear with that. We just had a lengthy discussion about range and how everybody's complaining that it really won't fly, as far as they say it will. And I'm like, really, guys, how far do you really need it to fly?
Yeah.
Okay. Forget all this beyond visual line of sight crap and everything else. What are you doing with your drone 7.5, 8 miles away? What are you really doing with it?
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but they're talking about 300 meters. They're losing visual signal less than 1,000 feet away.
Eddie maintained O3 connection for 12,000 feet, and he did that in the New York metropolitan area. So
a lot of these things are overseas as well, though. So I mean,
a lot. You're right, because a lot of it was built for CE, right? And remember that they put out a ton of Mavic 3 Mini Pros to a bunch of influences, and realize these are pre-production drones they've had for a couple of months.
Right.
And up until just the other day, it was a pre-production firmware. Now, the firmware that came out the other day didn't address everything, but now they're talking about it actually being capable of 10-bit video at 4K up from the 8-bit, which I think would increase heat. But then again, look, heat's a problem with the Mini 3. If you have it sitting
What's
on
up,
the
pizza
ground
boy?
with props, if it's not up in the air flying, then expect to have a heat problem with just about any of your drones out there today.
Sure.
Okay. Now the drone comes in weighs, I think, like 289 grams with the extended battery. Now I bought the Mini 3 Plus Fly More combo with the extended batteries.
You got the extended.
Not because I need to be in the air for 40 minutes. I like to jump around from spot to spot to spot. And if I can throw it up in the air for 10, 15 minutes at this spot, jump to another spot, get another flight in, maybe a third flight in at a third spot before I'm even changing the battery, okay? Because nobody really needs to watch 40 minutes of the same damn place, okay? And those of you that put out videos of 40 minutes of the same damn place, I got about a 1.5 minute attention span with those videos. So, you know, please make the music nice, okay, to lull me in. But otherwise, you know, you're grabbing snippets, right? And what I loved about the Mini 1 drone, okay, I didn't see it as, you know, I mean, I could grab some shots from it. I could work them in Lightroom a bit, you know, that they were JPEG. But what I loved about it was I could keep batteries in the damn thing and put it up when I needed to, and it would just go about anywhere with me and not be noticed. And that's the nice thing about this. But I think the number one feature I like as a photographer is it can shoot in portrait mode. And why that's important to me is I'm a big fan of doing manual panos. And when I do a pano, I don't shoot it in landscape mode, okay? Because you have to crop a pano. Well, if you're shooting in landscape mode, you're throwing away too much data. If you shoot in portrait mode, you got plenty to cut off at the top and the bottom of the frame without losing too much data. And its ability to shoot a 48 megapixel image in landscape and in portrait mode are pretty significant. They say even with, there's a potential with the firmware upgrades that you will be able to shoot much higher frame rates in 4K. So that's great from a video standpoint. So, you know, look, the jury is still out, but isn't it still out on every damn DJI drone we've ever bought? And so we're going to bitch and moan about how we're their test bed because they released this stuff before it's ready for prime time. There isn't a product out there today that's not like that anymore. Okay, everything is a subscription-based upgrade. As your phone, when you get it, I mean, you're constantly doing updates on your phone.
Yep.
So, you know, as long as the product gets better with those firmware upgrades. But the one issue that I have right now that I'm concerned about is Eddie ran into the issue the other day. Is he was out in the field. He needed to connect the smart controller, the RC, with his phone because he was in a restricted area. He got Lance approval, and he needed to now tether to the smart controller. Well, the second he did that, he then got a warning message in Fly that said, aircraft locked for firmware update.
I saw
and
that.
He
I
couldn't
think he called
cancel
that
that
video.
out.
I saw that. I think he called that video something about handicapped something.
Yeah, he couldn't cancel it out. So, you know, I never want to do a firmware update in the field. Okay, you got to worry about whether you have a good signal, whether you have sufficient bandwidth, whether there's going to be interference. The worst thing to do is have a firmware go belly up on you, right? And you don't want to do that in the field. So if I get a firmware warning in the field, I cancel that out and I keep flying, and then I get back to it when I get back home or back to quarters, right? But
especially if you haven't had any problems.
Yeah, you're locked. You can't fly until you get this firmware updated. So that concerns me. I'm very leery about that because you know, Dre, I'll go places where, man, there hasn't been a cell phone signal there,
right,
in the entirety of our population, right? I mean, we got plenty of spots out here where cell phone towers don't even exist.
Yeah.
You got to have a
Well,
satellite.
then again, if that's the case, you wouldn't have gotten a notice that you needed an update anyway, because you wouldn't have been connected.
No, Bill, but it would be something else. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this, but anytime you do a firmware update, you got to basically touch every battery too. Now you go out to the field, and you touched 1 or 2 batteries when you did your firmware upgrade, but you got 4 or 5 sitting in the bag. Now you throw in battery 3 or 4, and you get that firmware inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to lock my drone for shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get back to that later.
And hey, somebody did want to hit and ask a question, Chris Wedgeworth, and I guess he didn't answer, but he asked this question right here. I don't know if you guys been paying attention.
2 bits.
Shut up, Justin. Retarded ass.
I answered this question. I said one's 8, one's 10. Like,
oh man, I like that. I like that, Bill. He said what's the difference between 8-bit and 10-bit?
Oh, okay. The amount of data that's collected.
Yeah.
Okay. 8-bit and 10-bit, it's basically how much data is collected.
Right.
So of course, 10-bit is going to collect 10 bits of data. Okay.
Per whatever.
For each frame, each sequence, so that when you then go to manipulate that later on, that you're not doing things like, think about it, the analogy I'll use is a JPEG and a raw image. Okay. A JPEG is already cooked. A raw image just has those raw ingredients, and you can cook it al dente if you want, or tender. Okay. You can make the adjustments without blowing out the taste. And that's basically what we have here. The more data you're able to collect, the more you can manipulate the image, the better the color rendition is going to be, the less likely you'll have noise. So there's a whole cascade of things.
I think it's directly proportional too, right? I mean, it could probably be 25% larger files as well, I believe. 8
they can also be more efficient sometimes too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
depends on the codec that you're.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the processing power, and also people got to pay attention to what cards they use in these drones these days. Also, you got to make sure you're using a quality, SD card that has a throughput rate. Okay, otherwise you're going to be dropping frames and not even realize it.
Right.
Remember, the drone is transmitting back to your controller at 1080.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're looking at might look great, but if you're dropping frames that are being recorded to the onboard SD card, the onboard memory, or the SD card, you could be dropping frames there and not realize it until you go into post. Now that 4K footage you were looking for is you're dropping frames, you're jittery, you got some frame sequence issues. That's why you got to use a quality card. And even on these low-end drones now, okay, their throughput, their ability to save data quickly, that's why the Cine version of the Mavic 3 is really sought after by a lot because of its ability, its throughput, okay, with ProRes. It's a higher, basically a more lanes on the highway to push data through.
Right. And that's one thing I noticed, Tom, is that since these minis been coming out, that's one part of specs that you don't hear much about. I remember before when they used to have all the Mavic series came out, they talking about with the Mavic Air Original, they talking about, it's 100 megabits per second throughput.
Yeah, that's how quickly it writes.
Right,
yeah.
How fast it writes, and the same thing the Mavic 2 and the last bit of the Phantom series. They talk about how fast it wrote to the card, which results in more data, better data being transferred to the SD card. And that's one thing I have yet to hear said about the minis. How effective! I remember the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro was only 60 megabits.
I think these are 150. Trying to look at the specs right now, but I thought they might be 150 megabits per second,
which is very good
to the card.
Yeah, which is very good. But like I said, people are thinking that they can use a
Oh, shit
a,
card.
a lower end card. You said the right word. Lower end card, and they wonder why they're not getting footage, or the footage doesn't look good, or it's jerky. I said, well, you got to go with at least a U3 card, and so
Yeah.
forth.
So looking at DJI's site, in fact, for their card recommendation, there isn't a single card that's not a V30,
Mm-hmm.
and the majority of them are A2s.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
U3, A2, V30s, and
yeah,
I'm
V30. Yeah. U30
yeah,
is a definite. That's a minimum spec right there. It's
yeah.
got to be a U30. A U3 basically means it's speed class 3. Okay.
Right.
So it's a UHS 1 speed class 3 card. It's got to be a V30. I would go minimum 64 gig. I think you're better off at 128. You could go to 256. Look, it's how much data you want at risk on a single card. Okay, that's always the mindset for a photographer. I can buy these mega cards for my mirrorless and DSLRs, but it's how much data you want to put at risk at one time.
Right.
Because if something goes wrong on the card, okay. But you got to use a quality card. You got to spring for it. But quality cards aren't that expensive anymore.
They're not. They're dirt cheap. And like I said,
No,
myself,
35 bucks for a decent 128 card today.
Yeah, you can catch them on sale for as low as $24 nowadays. But like I said, I'm starting to push.
Try to stick to the name brands if possible.
Yeah.
I mean, you're better off with SanDisk and Lexar cards.
Mm-hmm.
Samsung, as long as you're at the Pro Plus or I mean the Evo Plus. Evo Plus is if you want like a mega size card, but I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't go for like a 512 card. I think that's a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the SanDisk Extreme Pros and the Lexar, the 1066 speed cards are excellent cards. Do you need the high endurance Lexar cards or the max endurance SanDisk cards? No. If you have a 4K security system, yes. But for a drone, no, I don't think you need that.
Mm-hmm.
I buy the Pro Pluses.
Yeah, they're good cards. You just got to make sure you don't get counterfeits. You got to watch Amazon.
No, I buy them at Best Buy.
Yeah, the best thing to do is if you're going to go to Best Buy, you're going to go to Amazon, you're going to go. Of course, one of the best places to go is B&H. You're never going to get a counterfeit card from B&H. But if you go to Amazon, look up the manufacturer's number, and then go to SanDisk's site or Lexar's site and see if those numbers match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Otherwise, you could wind up with a counterfeit card.
Yeah, drone.
Depending on how many packages you've had stolen by Amazon, you might not get a refund.
Yeah, drone A and U pro grade. Yeah, I'm just now switching over to pro grades myself, getting the V60s through them, and I'm gonna slowly catch them on sale. They're quite a bit more expensive cards, but what I have researched that they come highly recommended by those in the industry.
Now, you did mention time earlier when it comes to the Mavic 3, the ProRes and all that good stuff when it comes to the Cine version. But I don't think I heard you say that the Cine version does come with a 1 terabyte internal memory, so you don't need an SD card.
No, but the write speed to that internal memory, okay, is a major game changer for that Cine drone, okay? Yeah. Because of it has that 1 terabyte storage. What they've been able to do is that's basically a NAND, so they can push data very quickly to that. So when you're shooting like ProRes, you are eating up storage space.
Oh yeah.
And cards really can't handle it. You know, unless you're going to go to the new V-Safe cards and stuff like that. But these drones weren't built to accommodate those cards. So the 1 terabyte has a major superhighway going to it when we talk about data bandwidth. Okay, on the write speed there. Your
But hey,
double to
but
triple
hey,
the
most
speed you'd be able to go
TVs,
to card.
most TVs, computers, laptops, iPads, phones, I don't think they're capable of, rendering in ProRes, and we won't be able to see it anyway.
No, you're not. ProRes is not the final product you get to see. ProRes.
Well, the way I'm
is,
understanding is that ProRes is supposed to be better than 4K, 6K, or 8K. That's what
no. Okay.
That's my impression.
So ProRes is how the data is collected and put together, and you need a monster processor, a monster GPU to work with ProRes. It's not for the casual, okay? It's for the industry.
Right.
Okay? ProRes is a standard used by the industry. When we move documents across, okay, whether it's to DMV or health insurance or whatever it might be, we use PDFs, right? Why? PDF is a standard.
Mm-hmm.
ProRes is a standard. ProRes is a standard of moving that visual data, okay, moving the audio data at the right bit rates and the right data rates to preserve the integrity of the capture, okay? So, but that data's got to be able to be moved, and it's enormous. So you and me shooting on a non-ProRes camera 10 minutes worth of footage, okay, what are we really going to, maybe 9 gigs? 10 minutes, maybe, what is it, 3 gigs every 3.5 minutes or so when we're shooting 4K?
Yeah,
You're
about
shooting
that.
ProRes. You're 200, 300, 400 gigs worth of data.
Yeah.
For that same amount of time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to work with. And with the right tools, okay, you can really finesse what you get. And you can really lock in color. You can, and if you're shooting with multiple cameras, think about it. If you're shooting with various cameras and the director of photography now has to make sure all that works together. Well, all those captures are going to be based on the same standard. They're going to be based on that ProRes. What is it? 4.22 something or other. Okay. So this way you can then, okay, true up your color or color match, doing all that color grading across, because your captures all meet the same standard and they can all be manipulated using the same tool sets. So look, you need GPU at the wazoo. You need a lot of processing power on a PC to work with ProRes images. And then you're going to take that drone, by the way, Adrian, and you're going to plug her rear end into your computer.
Yeah.
That's going to be the easiest way to move that data from that 1 terabyte drive over to your working disk, okay, which better be a solid state drive on your editing machine, because you ain't really working with this stuff anymore on spinning platens. This has all got to be solid state now. Anybody have any experience with the new Apple Studio M1? I think it is. I'm hearing great things about it.
Never heard of it.
It's a processor chip on the newest Macs.
The newest line, yeah.
Yeah, I don't do Apple.
Yeah, I haven't up to this point, Bill, because I think I get better dollar value on the PC side of the fence.
Well, it's kind of a lie. Actually, we have a tablet in the other room. We got one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got an iPhone here too, Bill. But,
yeah. My dad's
and then I got these Apple things sticking into me.
Yeah.
But it was the cheap one. It was the $300 one. A couple of years ago.
Right.
But
hey, Adrian, I'm going to tap out. Tom's got it under control. So
all right.
y'all got any questions? You got the right man to talk to.
All right, Dre, thank you for being here, but I'm only going to stick around for about another 7 minutes, then I'm going to call it quit as well. I'm getting
that sounds like a good plan.
you got real quick. You were talking about I'm sorry, Dre, before you take off, talking about the pro grade. Yeah, the pro grades of E60. I hear people talking about going V90s, but the drones that we have can't take advantage of a V90. I mean, they're backwards compatible, but the V90s actually have a second row of connectors. Does a V60 have that second row as well? Because I don't think the drones that I'm using, Air2S,
I'm gonna jump off, Adrian.
can't even, it would only read it at a 30 speed anyway.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just the
looking at
reliability. I've been hearing about it because I've asked. I know Vic Moss swears by him. He uses nothing but pro grades, and a few other people I've asked about it. Because my concern was how much better quality will I be getting at. I said, well, it's not so much the quality is going to change; it's just the reliability of the cards and the durability of the cards over time is the real factor. And they're almost close to be double the price of what you get to pay for a scan disc. So they are quite expensive unless you catch them on sale. I think it's for a 64 gig, it'll cost you about $59. And you can get a scan disc 64 gig for less than 20.
Yeah, but like you said, if it's going to last you longer and if it's going to be more reliable, and then it's worth the money, you know.
Well,
right.
Again,
you're still talking $30, you know, difference, you know. Most people.
Whether you're going to get advantage from it or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, like we talk about anything else. Is the cost difference? What's the advantage of the cost difference?
Well, the reader, or the what is it, the jack, whatever, you know, where you plug it into the drones.
The interface, yeah.
The interface doesn't have that the ability to make contact with that second row of pins on the back of
the V90 is still backward compatible, though.
Oh yeah, no, it'll work.
Yeah,
it'll work, but it'll work as a 30.
As a single channel. Well, yeah. Unless the device, of course, is capable of V60, a V90 card will provide the V60.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're talking about is a double channel. That's an internal channel read, and what you have on the card actually is.
I'm going to show you a picture. I have a picture of the backside.
Right, the context of it, because those.
I mean, are you going to share something, Bill?
Yeah, sure. Why don't I do that?
Hold no music, please.
No, he's going to share
it's just a picture.
Okay.
Let me move to other window. All right, here we go. No, it's just a simple picture of the back of it, and I'm pretty sure. Let me share that our drones just don't take advantage of it. That's all. There it is.
Like I said, I picked up 2 of them in the last 6 months. I've yet to use them, but I have 2 of them. I'm gonna eventually replace the scan disc cards.
Now you see the spec here. Now, what the drones that we're plugging into aren't going to make contact with these.
Not with those back pins, right.
So, but you'll see once you get above a V30 card, you start having that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I looked into that, and my drone, I haven't looked into the Mavic 3, is only rated V30 is as fast as it's going to go.
Correct.
You know,
and the new 3 Pro, same. The Mini 3 Pro, same thing, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
It's
well, how about the big one? How about the Big Bird, Mavic 3?
The Mavic 3, I don't think calls for V60. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Well, I don't know that it really needs it. You know, people confuse.
It's optimized for like 6K, 5K, 6K, 8K video.
Right.
That's why they have to add the additional channels to move.
Well, people confuse megabyte per second and megabit per second, and they think that their cards aren't fast enough to handle 200 megabit transfer, and it is because it's a 100 or a 90 megabyte bit. Help me out. No, the other way around. It's 8 bits per byte.
Megabit per second.
Right. It's 8 bits, and it's 8 bits per byte. So you can actually at 90 times 8. You're still talking 700, way faster than you could ever possibly need. So
DJI only recommends V30 cards for their Mavic 3 and their Mavic 3 Cine.
Mm-hmm.
Only
V30. But will it read at 60? That's probably not.
You know what? I don't know. And Dre, you said you bought a few.
I bought them. I haven't used them yet, but I know Vic Moss uses them all the time.
So I don't think he's getting the advantage of the back channel.
No, he didn't say that you get a better quality picture. He just says the cards, the way they're built.
It's debatable.
Debatable.
As far as endurance and how long,
Well, you know what's nice about this? If you have a V60 or a V90 reader that you can hook up to your
Oh,
now
yeah.
you can download your
Right.
video
much quicker.
Your
much
transfer
quicker,
speed is just
much
triple.
faster.
Yeah.
So that alone
absolutely.
might be worth paying an extra $20-$30, you know.
It
Right.
depends
40.
on how large those files are. I mean, realize we're still only capturing 3 gig segments. I don't know if your files go any higher than that, but continuous, you're only filming for like 3 minutes and some odd seconds before it creates a new file.
Right.
So as long as you keep those individual files at a reasonable size, that you can move them without much difficulty. There definitely is an advantage, because now when you plug that card, even though you saved it just on the single row of channels, when you plug that card into the reader on your PC and that reader is optimized to read that card, yeah, you're going to get a much bigger highway with no toll plazas getting in the way, slowing things down.
Yeah, I say transfer speed is increased when you're
Yeah.
downloading the information.
And that can make a huge difference, especially if you're offloading a ton of data.
Right. Yeah.
I was trying to find the transfer speed, but I can't seem to.
Are you done with that share?
Oh yeah. I just showed up one little picture. That's all. Yep.
Okay, then go ahead and cancel it. Then go ahead, and then it will go away. There you go.
Yeah.
Good night, Susan Lee. I'll talk to you later, ma'am. Have a good
night,
evening.
Susan. Good night, buddy. Sweetie. Baby.
Yeah, like I said, I've never had a problem, with any of the scan disc cards I had. I did one job for somebody when I first started out doing work, and it's like when you meet somebody, you're on your best behavior, you're being polite, and I have bought some cards, some scan disc cards to give to him of the work he wanted me to do. I said, dude, just take this card, but he insisted to give me the card he had. I looked at it. And once again, I'm being polite, and I'm like, this is an old card, dude. And I wasn't sure how it was going to act in my Maverick 2 Pro. This is about like 2 years ago. And I was doing some work at UC Merced on the college up there. And lo and behold, when the guy got the footage, it came out all jerky and skipping and everything else. And I mean, that's like almost a 5-hour drive from my house all the way up to Merced. I went back up there the next weekend, Tom, and I had to refly everything again and put it on a better card.
So I spent about 10 years, my part-time gig, as a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the luxury of going back and shooting it again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I learned early on only to shoot weddings with a second shooter, and my wife. Okay. No, my wife wasn't our second shooter. She was our assistant.
Right.
So she would have the laptop. We would have a series of cards, and there'd be 2 external hard drives hanging off the laptop.
Yeah.
So we would keep giving her our cards, and she would offload them and check. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'd be cycling cards left and right. And then at the end of the night, my second shooter had it made because he just got paid. Okay.
Right.
But he took a hard drive with him.
Uh-huh.
I took a hard drive with me, and the wife left in a separate car. Okay. With the laptop and a hard drive. Okay. Yeah. So no matter what, if anything happened, we still had the data. So one good thing to do is, remember, I talk about it all the time, having a pre-flight checklist. You should have a post-flight checklist or debriefing.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Where you go down and you look at, okay, how many batteries did I go through? Which ones need to be recharged later, or which ones should I throw right back in my bag because they're just heat sources in a closed bag, so things like that. But also, why not spot check some of your footage?
Yes.
Okay, because you can do that with your last battery on. Okay, and you can check the footage from the drone.
Yep.
And see, did I capture what I was looking for? Look, still on that small screen, everything's going to look fantastic. And that's why I get a little crazy with people.
Yeah.
Like they go overboard with with their videos, and I got to shoot this in 8K, and I got to and only watch it in 4K up on YouTube. The majority of people are watching your video in 720, by the way, 720 and 1080
on
on
phone.
mobile devices.
Yep.
This big. Okay, you can make almost anything look good this big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the postage stamp looks wonderful. Once you blow up that postage stamp, it's a different story.
Right.
So you gotta be reasonable.
Yeah.
You don't need 4K today.
And tell you the truth, that's why I'm starting to use my old Crystal Skies for that purpose.
Dude, once I get done unpacking, if you're looking for an ultra bright, I probably have one.
I got 2 of the 7 inches that I don't even use anymore hardly.
The ultra bright is like one of the best ones out there, but they just don't support it.
I know that's DJI's dropped the ball.
So how many smart controllers am I going to end up with? How many?
I was telling Adrian about mine. I said in the last 6 months, I've because I made other purchases, I got 2 smart controllers now, and I was just telling him I'm so used to using the larger Phantom controllers and hold it in my hands that I was on a job last week and I accidentally touched the screen and threw the camera out of focus. Because I didn't really, I'm not used to holding it, that hand. And I'm you're out in the field, like you said, to your eyes, our eyes, us being older, you kind of like, is it a little bit fuzzy? Or you're not sure? And about halfway through the flight, I hit the screen again, and everything is razor sharp. And I knew then, I said, "Oh crap! I got to come back out here and reshoot this."
So you brought up such a good point. Our eyes are getting not getting sharper, by the way. But man, let me use my goggles, will you? Come on, let me plug my damn goggles, my V2s, into that smart controller, and let me fly with that. I'll frame my shots up. I'm still the guy with my mirrorless camera, and I have an articulating flat screen on the back of it. But this eye is up on the eyepiece. It's not looking at that screen.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm a photographer. If you gave me a black cloth, I could throw it over my head. Okay? With my Phantoms, my 3s, and my 4s, man, I had, the freaking hoodman with the hoodman.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? It looked like I was going to one of those old peep show.
The real reels that you,
right?
Yeah.
But I got and then I went with the Epsons. Okay.
Yeah, I have a set of those, but see, once again, with the new controllers, you can't plug them in.
You can't plug them in
unless you get the HDMI adapters.
Look, you can push HDMI through USB-C. Just let me plug in my damn goggles, my V2 goggles. That would be the hey, DJI, you want to give me a golden ticket? That's the golden ticket I want. Let me plug a pair of goggles into that controller, and I'll fly with your controller, but let me visualize through those goggles.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, so
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
But I'm also the guy who loves that motion controller, right, Adrian?
Yes, most definitely. I love that.
All right, Agent, I'm about to bounce, dude.
I'm about to go ahead and call it a night as well. Thank you so much for being here, Tom, Bill, Dre, Justin, everybody else that was here, everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here on the show. I really appreciate that. We will go ahead and call it a night.
Good night, Dre. Good night, Tom.
You guys take
good night, Adrian.
Bill.
See you later. Good night.
Lenny. Take care, everyone.